Then, before the village leader could react, Zhou Chuan shouted, "My fellow humans in the Black Earth village, have you seen the great Tao crack in the sky?" Everyone was puzzled, not knowing what Zhou Chuan was going to say. Most people were still in a state of panic and wished they could stay far away from Zhou Chuan. However, Zhou Chuan said, "My fellow human beings, this crack in the great Tao foreshadows the death of a monarch." Hiss. Huh? How is that possible? How can a monarch die? Nonsense. It said that there's only one monarch in the city of scavengers. And that's 10,000 scale monarch. How can such a peerless powerhouse die? However, Zhou Chuan's voice quickly overshadowed everyone's. He shouted, "My fellow human beings, the day has come when we are free from the enslavement of the 10,000 scale race. I am Zhou Chuan, a former member of the Black Earth Village. After walking out of the Black Earth Village, I entered the Black Ice City and was then selected to the City of Scavengers because of my outstanding performance. I originally thought that I could finally become stronger and cultivate stronger techniques to gain more resources. However, what awaits me is the bullying and endless insult of the 10,000 scale race. The 10,000 scale race threw the sea establishers of our human race into the trial ground and made us kill each other. I have experienced countless trials and have already lost hope for my life. However, the great Master Human Emperor has come. He saved us from despair and taught us peerless techniques and even divine quality techniques." Zhou Chuan's voice changed from sorrow to excitement and impassion. In the end, he opened his arms and shouted, "I, Zhou Chuan, am now a member of the 7-kill army under Master Human Emperor. In order to prevent the 10,000 scale race from noticing, I'm ordered to return secretly. I'm waiting for the signal of the Human Emperor to counterattack. Now, please put down everything in your hands and listen to me. Master Human Emperor is the human emperor of our human race. He even has had the strength to kill a monarch. The great Tao crack today is the agreement between Master Human Emperor and us. When the crack appears, the Human Emperor's counterattack begins. And my goal is to take away the humans of the Black Earth Village. My fellow humans, it has been 100,000 years. We have been enslaved for 100,000 years. Today is our chance to get freedom. Today, we are making history. Please believe me and enter my origin sea. I will take you away, and I will take you to meet Master Human Emperor. Time waits for no man. Lord Village Leader, please lead our fellow humans from the Black Earth Village into my origin sea, and I will take you away." The village leader was stunned. The law enforcement team was stunned. Everyone in the Black Earth Village was stunned. They couldn't believe what they had heard. The human race had got an emperor who could even kill a monarch. And he had actually arranged for someone to save them from the Black Earth Village and the control of the 10,000 scales race. Was this true? This matter was really too sudden. The village leader couldn't make up his mind for a moment, because his current decision would decide the fate of everyone in the Black Earth Village. Zhou Chuan knew the village leader's concerns. He said, "Leader, it's not just our Black Earth Village or Black Ice City. It's all the villages under the jurisdiction of the entire city of scavengers. Master Human Emperor has already made arrangements. I'm not alone. Brothers, come out." Swish swish swish. In the next moment, 4 more people walked out of the crowd of the Black Earth Village. The strength these 4 people showed was of the sea establishment realm, and even the weakest of them was an intermediate sea establisher. Zhou Chuan shouted, "My fellow human beings, to be frank, if the 5 of us really want to murder the people of the Black Earth Village, no one here can stop us. However, please believe that for the sake of the human races counterattack, Master Human Emperor has convinced the Master of Silence of the City of Wanderers to fight with us. In a moment, our brothers from the City of Wanderers will come to open a passage for us to evacuate." Well, the village leader was tempted. No, everyone was tempted. If they could escape the enslavement of the 10,000 scales, who wouldn't want to? As for the City of Wanderers, it had attacked the City of Scavengers more than once. Almost everyone in the entire chaotic wasteland knew that the City of Wanderers was a free city. It was the yearning of many humans who had been enslaved by the 10,000 scale race. However, this journey to that city had been difficult and too dangerous. It was said that there was a place called the Graveyard Battlefield between the City of Scavengers and the City of Wanderers. Almost no one could cross the Graveyard Battlefield alive to reach the City of Wanderers on the other side. Therefore, if people from the City of Wanderers really came, they could really testify to everything Zhou Chuan said. Just as Zhou Chuan finished speaking, less than 5 seconds later, a sea establisher appeared outside the Black Earth Village with 5 or 6 venerables. This person didn't look like a human, but a mushroom-like creature. The man shouted, "I am Green Bone, a subordinate of the 4 generals of the City of Wanderers. I'm here under orders to clear the way for the human race. The situation is tense. Time waits for no man. All the strong masters in the sky-opening realm in our City of Wanderers have been deployed to contain all the cities under the jurisdiction of the City of Scavengers and buy us time. Hurry, hurry, hurry." Zhou Chuan shouted, "Leader, you heard him. These are our reinforcements. Don't hesitate anymore. Instead of living under the enslavement of the 10,000 scale clan, it's better to witness Master Human Emperor's counterattack with your own eyes. Even if you die heroically in battle, it's more meaningful than living cowardly." Leader. The other 4 people who came with Zhou Chuan also shouted, "The human race will definitely win this battle. Please evacuate with us." Zhou Chuan said, "Master Human Emperor has been preparing for today's battle for countless years. Everyone, please listen to me and open your minds. Let me take you away." Finally, the village leader relented. He knew that there was nothing worth scheming for in a mere Black Earth village. They had already been living like this. How much worse could their life be? The village leader shouted, "Everyone, open your minds." In order to win the trust of the humans in this village, Han Fei had told his men in advance that they should take action when they saw a great Tao crack in the chaotic wasteland. Only when the humans clearly knew that a monarch had died could his men's words sound more credible. Furthermore, every village had at least one of his men. These people were mostly from these villages, to increase their persuasiveness. Zhou Chuan tried to persuade the people of the Black Earth Village to leave when he saw the great Tao crack, while some people had already secretly communicated with the village leader and the others in advance. Zhou Chuan had planned to go to the village leader after he got familiar with the people of the Black Earth Village, but he didn't expect that Han Fei had started so quickly that he didn't even have time to persuade the village leader. Of course, although Zhou Chuan's words were impassioned, this couldn't completely convince the enslaved humans. This was because they had been enslaved for 100,000 years. The long hopeless life had long made them lose hope. Therefore, these 2 points alone were not enough to ignite their hope. Therefore, the city of wanderers had moved. Gutingnan wasn't completely unprepared for this day. Among the 4 generals, Xingyu was actually responsible for nurturing powerhouses. After so many years, he had cultivated tens of thousands of sea establishment realm powerhouses. In the chaotic wasteland, the city of wanderers was essentially just a training tool for the city of scavengers and the city of origin, but others didn't know. For the humans enslaved by the 10,000 scales, the city of wanderers had always been a free city in their hearts. Therefore, when the people from the city of wanderers really appeared, their desire for freedom was immediately aroused. The same scene happened in tens of thousands of villages on this day and at this moment. The plan itself was not complicated. As long as the confidentiality was done, well, it could be done. However, Han Fei could do this plan, but Gutingnan couldn't. This was because the so-called human retreat plan could only last for half an hour at most. This was because Duan Qingxi and Lin Yu had indeed arranged for people to feign an attack on the major cities under the jurisdiction of the city of scavengers. Besides, the death of a monarch would definitely make the real strong masters in the chaotic wasteland realize that something was wrong here. But Han Fei killed An Heng, a strong master from the city of origin, so theoretically, the strong master behind the city of scavengers would return a little late. However, this matter was not absolute, because Han Fei didn't know the conditions for the return of the strong masters behind the chaotic wasteland. Gutingnan had said that even if he personally arranged for people to go to that place, they could only be sent to limited places. Even as a Dao proving level powerhouse, he didn't know where these people had gone. Now that a monarch had died in the city of origin, the person behind it would definitely send a monarch down, not just a sky opener. And if a monarch wanted to go to the city of origin, how could the strong master behind the city of scavengers let another monarch appear in the chaotic wasteland to affect the balance of power here? Therefore, the city of scavengers would probably send people back too, and so would the city of wanderers. The reason why Han Fei felt that the city of scavengers would lag behind was just his guess. After all, the people from the city of origin would return first, so the city of scavengers might not pay much attention at the beginning. Even if they did, it shouldn't be too rushed. But no matter when the monarch of the city of scavengers would come back, Han Fei had already thought of a way to buy time for the 7-kill army, which was to use himself as bait. He said, "Dad, Mom, please help me take care of these people here." Jiang Linxian smiled. "Don't you want me and your father to go with you?" Han Fei looked at old Han, who had been watching the show with a smile since he came back. Although he knew that old Han could definitely cross realms to kill a monarch, he would probably feel a little uncomfortable under his stare. Besides, old Han and Jiang Linxian were too strong. He didn't want them to interfere in his trial. Therefore, Han Fei shook his head and said, "Not for now. You just need to send the 2 people from the city of origin over at the right time." As for what the right time was, Han Fei glanced at Han Guanshu, who nodded slightly. Obviously, Han Guanshu had already seen through Han Fei's intentions. Jiang Linxian nodded and said, "Fair, be careful. Don't be careless." Han Fei, "Hey. Don't worry. Lu Qianxi." Han Fei waved his hand, and Lu Qianxi immediately appeared in Han Fei's hand. Han Fei turned the vast ocean navigator at the same time. Then, as he issued an order in his heart, the few of them disappeared in the ice in the blink of an eye. Although Ning Tianlong and the others were monarchs, their speed wasn't that fast. It might be possible for carefree-level monarchs to reach here from the city of scavengers in 5 seconds, but it was almost impossible for Dao proving level monarchs like them. Therefore, they must have set up a teleportation array somewhere around. Sure enough, Han Fei confirmed the location of the teleportation array about 5 seconds later. Buzz. Han Fei didn't know where he would be teleported to, but it didn't matter even if he was teleported to the city of scavengers. Anyway, what Han Fei wanted was the attention of the strong masters of the 10,000 scale race. After crossing the teleportation channel, they were tens of millions of kilometers away from the city of scavengers. On this mine, one could see the city of scavengers with a sweep of perception. However, when Han Fei released his perception, he saw a middle-aged man in black on a mountain peak of this mine, looking at Han Fei and the others with his hands behind his back. In addition to the black-clothed middle-aged man, there were also 4 strong masters here. Han Fei could sense that 3 of them were at the Dao proving level, and the other was actually at the carefree level. As for the black-clothed man, he was like a dead person, not revealing anything. Chu Hao said, 2 of them are carefree level monarchs and 3 are Dao proving level ones. The man in black seems to be at the carefree level, but I feel a trace of the pressure of an immortal level cultivator. He might be half a step into the immortal level. In short, we've been ambushed. Han Fei frowned and looked at the black-cloaked man, who happened to look up at Han Fei and the others. The man asked first, just the 4 of you? This person clearly included Lu Qianxi. The man said, 3 monarchs? Not bad, but I don't believe it. From the moment the monarch died just now, I knew that this time, the comers were not simple. But among the 4 of you, only 3 are at the Dao proving level and 1 is at the perfected star transformation realm. This is clearly not right. This person said with a dignified expression, with you, Gu Tingnan, it's impossible for the few of them to kill a monarch under your heaven enlightenment divine technique. Therefore, the monarch killed must be Ning Tianlong or a monarch from the city of origin. If it was Ning Tianlong, I would have known long ago and wouldn't have waited until now. Therefore, you must kill the monarch of the Yin family. That's a smart move. However, if the monarch of the Yin family really died, then you'll have an inescapable obstacle. In addition to in Heng and in Balan, there's also in Feng. Ning Tianlong and in Balan disappeared for 7 days, so it's impossible for in Feng not to notice this. But no second powerhouse has died in the past 7 days. This means that in Feng has been suppressed or has been occupied by a carefree level powerhouse. Therefore, it's impossible for only the 4 of you to come from the human race this time. There must be some other powerhouses who can suppress carefree level monarchs. Am I right? Chu Hao said to Han Fei via voice transmission, this person is not weak. If I fight him, I'm afraid it will be difficult to beat him in a short period of time. Therefore, I can only deal with this one. As for the other 4, you have to solve them yourself. Han Fei thought that he could hold them off for a while, but the people in the city of scavengers had already discovered the problem. It was extraordinary for them to have such foresight and patiently set up a trap here in advance to take them down. Han Fei asked, who are you? the man sneered. My name is Zhao Honghuang. Han Fei wasn't surprised at all to hear the name Zhao Honghuang. Everyone knew that Zhao Honghuang in the city of scavengers had a clone. However, because of the existence of the so-called 10,000 scale monarch, no one suspected that Zhao Honghuang was a clone. After all, in the eyes of ordinary people, how could a strong master at the perfected star transformation realm who could suppress the entire city of scavengers be a clone? However, Han Fei and Gu Tingnan were not surprised at all to hear this person announce his name. This was called darkness under the lights, right? For a long time, some people had suspected him, but there had never been any evidence. Zhao Honghuang was like an old Buddha, guarding the city of scavengers for so long that no one was willing to guess if he was a hidden powerhouse. However, although Zhao Honghuang's identity had been exposed, Han Fei and the others weren't afraid. If it was just the few people in front of them, it wouldn't be a problem. No matter how strong Zhao Honghuang was, they had Chu Hao on their side. Could he be stronger than Chu Hao? Without Zhao Honghuang, the only threat here was the carefree level powerhouse. Han Fei thought that Gu Tingnan should be able to temporarily block it. After all, Gu Tingnan had cultivated hard for 100,000 years. He wasn't just an ordinary Dao-proving level powerhouse. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to fight 3 Dao-proving level powerhouses alone. Although this was related to Gu Tingnan's great Dao of heavenly enlightenment, which had a powerful life-prolonging and health recovery ability, it was a fact that he could fight 3 alone. Then, the rest was easy to handle. But Han Fei didn't choose to fight immediately. Instead, he pretended to be solemn. 5 monarchs, the city of scavengers is really rich. But what I don't understand is why you chose to set up an ambush here? Zhao Honghuang didn't seem to be in a hurry to attack either. Instead, he said indifferently, aren't the people from the city of scavengers taking action? In just 7 days, they made so many arrangements. It's definitely not as simple as an ordinary siege battle. And you didn't show up, which shows that you haven't gone far from the place you came out. No matter who you are planning to ambush there to lure, you have to cooperate with the city of Wanderer's siege operation. And in order to quickly reach the city of scavengers without being discovered, you will definitely choose to use the teleportation array of my city of scavengers to arrive here. After that, Zhao Huangyu looked at Han Fei with a faint smile. Interesting. It's not the 3 monarchs, but you that are speaking. Really interesting. Han Fei said, that's because I'm smart. So I'm the one who speaks. Zhao Honghuang sneered. Smart? So smart that use this way to stall for time? Do I stall for time? No, I don't need to stall for time. I'm just fishing. Of course, Han Fei was not stalling for time. When he found that Zhao Honghuang and the others had already ambushed him here, he knew that someone had already returned from that place. However, only the little fish had taken the bait. To be honest, he wasn't interested in this fish. Originally, his plan didn't need to be kept a secret anymore. The operation had already begun when the first monarch died. Since it had begun, it was normal to be exposed. But was it important? If it was exposed, so be it. The problem was whether the city of scavengers could stop it. Fishing? You? Zhao Honghuang was confident that he would win this battle. Even if Ning Tianlong died, it didn't matter. Without Ning Tianlong, there would still be Li Tianlong or Zhang Tianlong. Anyway, the so-called great monarch of the city of scavengers was just a puppet at the Tao proving level. It didn't matter who he was. Zhao Honghuang said casually, if the people from the city of scavengers were so easy to intercept, they would have been snatched away long ago. However, you'd better be executed first. The human race is still too weak. You're not qualified to escape the control of our 10,000 scales race. Then, Zhao Honghuang nodded, and the four powerhouses attacked at the same time. Zhao Honghuang didn't attack anyone else but Han Fei because he was the only one who wasn't a monarch here, but he had the right to speak. It didn't make sense. Therefore, whether or not what Han Fei said was true, or something else, this person must be taken down first. However, when he thought that he could take Han Fei down with a stretch of his hand, the void hand suddenly distorted and turned into a twisted vortex. Bang! Chu Hao stood in front of Han Fei and said indifferently, if I kill him, I'm afraid I won't have much combat power left. Han Fei smiled casually. It doesn't matter. If there's a chance, just kill him. Don't wait. Zhao Honghuang's expression changed drastically. Tao proving level? Impossible, you're definitely not at the Tao proving level. Zhao Honghuang realized that something was wrong. Chu Hao's strength seemed to be fluctuating. He had thought that he was just a new monarch who had just proved Tao. But he didn't expect that this so-called new monarch could easily twist his power and destroy his casual attack in an instant. The others didn't know, but Zhao Huangyu knew that he was half a step into the immortal level. How could he not be able to defeat a Tao proving level cultivator? No matter how strong this Tao prover was, he couldn't defeat an immortal level monarch. Therefore, with just this strike, Zhao Honghuang was certain that this person was definitely not a Tao prover. As for the human race, it was clearly impossible and unreasonable for them to have such a strong master. Therefore, he guessed that this person might have returned from that place too. In the next moment, Zhao Honghuang shouted, Chen Ta, ignore the others, and take down this perfected star transformation realm guy first. Chen Ta was that carefree level powerhouse. This person was puzzled, but when he turned his head, he found that Zhao Honghuang was actually stopped by a Tao prover. The power that the Tao prover displayed clearly exceeded the strength that a Tao prover should have. How could he not understand this? These people were clearly stronger than he had imagined. However, he was more convinced that this was just an accident. It was impossible for everyone here to have the ability to cross realms, to fight. The others looked very ordinary. None of them were stronger than him. Therefore, when Chen Ta heard this, he didn't hesitate and immediately activated the law of strength to attack Han Fei. However, Han Fei had no intention of attacking. Gu Tingnan had already met the attack, and Han Fei threw Lu Qianxi out with a swish. There seemed to be only a level difference between the carefree level and the Tao proving level, but in fact, there was a huge gap. Gu Tingnan alone was no match for the other party. Gu Tingnan could only ensure that he didn't die. As for Lu Qianxi, he lived in the storm quicksand sea all year round and resisted the law of strength every day, so he could barely fight one-on-one. But in a one-on-one battle, he would definitely be abused by the other party. Han Fei paused for a moment and said, Teacher, can you help them? I don't think they can beat a carefree level monarch. The Beast King was surprised. What about you? Han Fei said, no Tao prover can kill me. The Beast King trusted Han Fei. Since he dared to start this battle today, he must be fully prepared. Otherwise, Han Fei wouldn't be so stupid as to make them fight these monarchs head-on. Since it was prepared, the Beast King naturally chose to believe Han Fei. Otherwise, even if it could hold back a Dao prover, Han Fei would still have to face two Dao provers. The difference didn't seem to be huge. Therefore, without any hesitation, the Beast King roared and charged forward. Han Fei felt that it was enough for the three of them to fight a carefree level powerhouse of the 10,000 scale race. After all, Gu Tingnan was not a newbie. He had been on this path for a long time. Even if it was a one-on-one battle, the other party, a carefree level cultivator, couldn't kill him. At this moment, it was 3 against 1, which was for safety reasons. There was no need to take the risk of someone being seriously injured. The reason why he didn't let his parents take action was that the two of them couldn't be considered normal combat power at all. Han Fei thought that if they really took action, he might not need to do anything. Therefore, Han Fei certainly had to fight this battle, which was his own battle. At this moment, Chen Ta was held back by the three of them, and Zhao Honghuang roared again, "Take this guy down." The three of them didn't hesitate at all. Since Zhao Honghuang and Chen Ta were held back, their target could only be Han Fei. At the same time, Han Fei fully activated his own great Dao, his aura sword, several times, and the invincible eyes slowly opened. It wasn't like he hadn't fought 3 monarchs at the same time. In the infinite mining area, Han Fei had killed 2 of the 5 Dao proving level monarchs who were besieging him. Although he took advantage of the other party's underestimation of him, now it was no different from that time. Of course, the 3 of them didn't take it lightly. It was unusual for a perfected star transformation realm cultivator to participate in such a battle. Besides, a lion would use its full strength to catch a rabbit, let alone that they weren't lions, and Han Fei wasn't a rabbit. The 3 10,000 scale race monarchs immediately took action. One of them mastered the law of strength, the other was good at soul attacks, so the weapon he used was a bell that could magnify the soul impact. The last one was a knife cultivator. His combat power was certainly extraordinary, but his strength was definitely not comparable to the one specialized in the law of strength. His soul might not be weak, but it was definitely not comparable to the one who specialized in soul attacks, so his strength should be relatively balanced. Seeing these 3 people coming at him, Han Fei immediately had a plan. The outcome of a battle between Dao provers was often decided in a flash. Therefore, it only took the 3 of them less than half a second to reach Han Fei. The fist light, the knife light, and the bell sound were launched at the same time. Han Fei didn't even dodge, letting the fist light and knife light approach him. And he directly used the void stealing technique on the monarch who was good at soul attacks. When a golden bell appeared, he used the void stealing technique again to steal the golden bell. The man was horrified. He didn't understand why his soul-suppressing godly weapon flew out voluntarily, nor did he understand how the soul-suppressing godly weapon cut off its connection with him. Then he saw a big pair of scissors cutting the void, and the power of his law actually failed. Kill. A primordial Dao sword broke through the void in an instant, shattering the soul attack and directly exploding the person. During the entire process, the other party didn't even have the chance to fight back before his body and soul were destroyed. Rumble. A great Dao crack appeared again, indicating the death of another monarch. However, Han Fei had done this more than once. As early as when he came out of the ferocious beast settlement, he already had the ability to kill monarchs. Therefore, Dao provers had no advantage in the realm in front of him. When the fist aura and knife light were about to hit Han Fei, two pieces of mystic sand formed a sand wall in front of Han Fei. Bang! Puff! Clang! 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 The powerful defense of the Star Sea mystic sand managed to withstand the two attacks. Even if it collapsed in the end, the power that could still fall on Han Fei was insignificant. Hiss! Jiao Hong Huang, Chen Ta, and the other two Dao provers were all stunned. Was this guy at the perfected star transformation realm? He had only used one strike to kill a Dao prover? Even Gu Tingnan was a little dumbfounded. He knew that Han Fei slayed monarchs in the infinite mining area, but he didn't expect it to be so simple for him. It had to be known that even the Dao provers had passed the monarch level. Tribulation. Be it their physique or soul, they were extremely powerful. To kill a Dao proving level powerhouse, Han Fei had to first ensure that his strength and soul were completely beyond the physique and soul of a Dao prover. The Beast King, on the other hand, was shocked. He knew that Han Fei should be strong enough to fight a monarch, but he didn't expect Han Fei to be able to kill a monarch so easily. If Han Fei could kill others, he could also kill him. The disciple he took in far exceeded his expectations. The moment this monarch died, Han Fei knew that the real big shots behind the city of scavengers must have learned about the situation here. So many monarchs had returned, and one of them had died. It could only mean that something big had happened in the chaotic wasteland. Gu Tingnan said that the people over there could come back soon. Han Fei didn't know how fast they could come back, but he knew that since the battle had begun, there was no turning back. Han Fei shouted, "Go all out and kill these people first." Han Fei attacked again, but not passively. Instead, he took the initiative to attack. The invincible eye between his eyebrows emitted a dazzling golden light. He used the same trick again and used the void-stealing technique twice in a row to steal the soul, suppressing godly weapon of the Dao prover with the law of strength. This time, the world destruction fist, the path of invincibility, the Dao of slaughter god, the Ragnarok, the divine techniques, and all other techniques were combined. Unable to dodge, the person could only rely on the force field and a divine shield, hoping to temporarily block Han Fei's blow. This was because he could tell that Han Fei's attack was an explosive attack. As long as he could block it once, he would have a chance to counterattack. Unfortunately, with a crack, the huge shield was shattered, and the murderous fist light enveloped this person. Although the law of strength was not weak, there were many ways to restrain it. Ragnarok, double killing both the body and the soul, was the simplest and best method for Han Fei. Therefore, with just one punch, Han Fei blasted this person to death. Rumble. Before the first great Dao crack disappeared, the second great Dao crack appeared again. In the blink of an eye, 2 of the 5 monarchs of the city of scavengers were gone. The first reaction of the remaining person was to run, but how could he escape now? The moment he had the intention to retreat, he discovered that his understanding of speed had disappeared from his mind. In the next moment, his soul-suppressing godly weapon flew out. This person finally understood why the 2 of them died in the blink of an eye. It was because Han Fei could deprive them of their power, laws, and great Dao comprehension. The man shouted, "This guy can steal my power." There's no way to resist him. When this person shouted, he took out a strange bead in his hand. Chu Hao. Suddenly reminded Han Fei, that's the strike of a powerhouse of a higher level. With a thought, Han Fei grabbed the god-shattering scissors. At the moment the pearl exploded, the god-shattering scissors cut through the void and seemed to have cut off an indistinct line. Boom. The bead was crushed, but the scene of a powerhouse descending that the person was looking forward to didn't appear. Only the bead was broken. Han Fei sneered, and the formless infinity sword crushed this person. Rumble. The third crack of the great Tao appeared again. At this moment, both Zhao Honghuang and Chen Ta were shocked. A perfected star transformation realm cultivator had actually killed 3 Tao-proving level powerhouses in a row in just a few seconds. Was this real? And this was just because this person was at the perfected star transformation realm. What if he proved his Tao? Han Fei wasn't excited at all about killing some Tao provers at all. This was because his strength, physique, soul, means, and treasures had completely crushed the so-called Tao provers. Under the premise that he was stronger than the other party in all aspects, if the other party lost control of the law, his combat power would be no different from that of a perfected star transformation realm cultivator to Han Fei. It would be strange if he didn't die. If hundreds of such strong masters came at him at once, he might not be able to defeat them and would be besieged to death by them, but if there were only 3 or 5 of them, they would only be dead meat. After 3 Tao provers perished in a row, Zhao Honghuang shouted, Chen Ta. Retreat. After saying that, Zhao Honghuang was about to get rid of Chu Hao's vortex power. But how could Chu Hao let him go? Chu Hao roared in a low voice, and a wisp of essence blood seemed to be burning. At that moment, the surrounding void all crystallized. Chu Hao pointed his finger, and a blood arrow seemed to be slow, but was actually fast, almost hitting Zhao Honghuang's forehead. The latter broke into a cold sweat, but he opened his mouth and spewed out a burning small sword. Huh. Primordial power? Bang. The blood arrow exploded right in front of Zhao Honghuang's eyes. Chu Hao's attack didn't work, but half of Zhao Honghuang's body was exploded, although he was still alive. Divine technique, boundless. Although Chu Hao didn't seem to be in a good state, he felt that he should do what he promised. Otherwise, if such a powerhouse who could almost be regarded as an immortal-level monarch ran away alive, it would be a big threat to Han Fei and the others. A monarch who had reached the peak of the carefree level and was even half a step into the immortal level. It was better to kill such an enemy as soon as possible. Zhao Honghuang retreated quickly, only to discover that he would never be able to touch the void ice crystal wall. Cough, cough. Han Fei felt a large amount of vitality draining from Chu Hao's body and knew that this guy's combat power was still unstable. He snapped his fingers and another drop of the spring of life flew towards Chu Hao. Upon seeing this, Chu Hao looked at Han Fei speechlessly. You still have more spring of life? Why didn't you take it out earlier? Why did you only give me 8 drops? Huff. Chu Hao sucked the drop of the spring of life into his stomach in one breath. The vitality in his body immediately erupted, and he immediately felt much better. He sneered. Endless cage. Ice crystals quickly formed around Zhao Yao. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't avoid these ice crystals. Buzz. Chu Hao extended his hand and an ice sword appeared in his hand. It spun in Chu Hao's palm a few times and was immediately filled with a strange spiral mark. As for Chu Hao, he was covered in ice and hadn't been able to charge over. Therefore, Chu Hao's sword was bound to hit. Pft! Ka ka ka. The void crystal shattered, and Zhao Hongwang's body was crushed into powder. But unexpectedly, his soul-suppressing divine weapon seemed to be exceptionally powerful. It was a fire seed, which protected Zhao Hongwang's soul very well. Zhao Hongwang roared crazily, 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, you will all die. Chu Hao glanced at Han Fei. The primordial fire seed can't be broken with my current strength. Han Fei's expression was ugly, but since Chu Hao couldn't break it, he couldn't use the void stealing technique to steal it. It was simple to steal the soul-suppressing godly weapon of a Tao prover, but stealing that of someone at Zhao Hongwang's level would definitely result in a backlash, a very serious backlash. However, now that things had come to this point, those who deserved to die had to die. Otherwise, when more people of the city of scavengers returned, they wouldn't be able to kill him even if they wanted to. Han Fei took out the extreme cold pearl without a word. When Chu Hao saw this, he shook his head and said, "It's useless. This power is too scattered." However, Han Fei sneered. "I have a lot of ultra-quality godly weapons. This one is not a big deal. Kill." With that, Han Fei flicked his finger, and the extreme cold pearl was wrapped in sword aura and slashed at the imprisoned fire seed. At that moment, Chu Hao understood what Han Fei meant. This guy was going to blow up the ultra-quality godly weapon to kill Zhao Hongwang. Zhao Hongwang seemed to have foreseen Han Fei's purpose. He roared, "Human beings shall be exterminated." No one knew who he was talking to, but he was definitely not talking to Han Fei and the others, nor were these his last words. But at this moment, Han Fei didn't care. Boom. Crack. The extreme cold pearl enveloped the fire seed and completely detonated. The cage formed by the void crystals was broken at this moment. The originally scorching primordial fire seed was like a candle in ice and snow, dimming to only a small flame left. The corner of Han Fei's mouth twitched. Even the explosion of an ultra-quality godly weapon failed to kill this guy? At this moment, Han Fei and the others felt almost at the same time that the void seemed to be pierced between the heavens and earth. Han Fei knew that someone was coming. He shouted at Chu Hao, "Kill." Chu Hao also looked solemn. Although he didn't know what Han Fei's trump card was, he steeled his heart and sent out a drop of essence blood. Puff. Rumble. At that moment, Zhao Hongwang's soul was shattered and he was dying. Han Fei approached and pinched the flame. He said in a very low voice, "By the way, there's something I forgot to tell you. Yi Fenglu is my clone." Zhao Hongwang's soul was filled with anger. He was probably disgusted by Han Fei's last trick. The fire seed was suddenly extinguished, and a terrifying great Tao crack spanned hundreds of millions of kilometers. The legend of the 10,000 scale race, a powerhouse who was half a step into the immortal level, died. In the depths of the void, there seemed to be a furious roar. Shoal, you're courting death. Han Fei put on a smile when he heard the voice. The second fish was coming. Han Fei looked at the void calmly. What would come sooner or later. He had already expected this scene, so he wasn't surprised. Besides, this was exactly what he was looking forward to. At this moment, the only carefree level powerhouse wanted to retreat several times, but he was stopped by Gu Tingnan and the others. Of course, Gu Tingnan and the others were also injured. Just as the person was frantically trying to escape the encirclement, he felt his consciousness instantly blur. Puff. Han Fei spewed out a mouthful of essence blood, but he was grinning. Because in the next moment, Chu Hao attacked again, and a spiral burst out of the person's body. Bang! Rumble! That person and his soul were shaken into powder. Chu Hao's face was a little pale, but fortunately, he had the drop of the spring of life. Otherwise, Han Fei was afraid that he would be unable to fight anymore. He said, "Just one drop?" Han Fei said, "There were 10 drops in total. One of them was given away, and the other 9 were all given to you." Chu Hao looked at Han Fei speechlessly. "Why didn't you give it to me earlier?" Han Fei said, "At least for now, your consumption should have been made up." Chu Hao looked at the void and sighed. "You really treat me as your thug." Han Fei grinned and smiled faintly. "Actually, our fates are connected. If something happens to you, something will happen to me. If something happens to me, it must be quite difficult for you to rise again. Only by helping each other can we win." Up to now, Chu Hao had helped Han Fei take down a carefree level powerhouse, killed a carefree level powerhouse, and cooperated with Han Fei to kill Zhao Han Huang, who was half a step into the immortal level. Logically speaking, Chu Hao had already given enough because he had said that he could help Han Fei solve at most 3 carefree level or 1 immortal level cultivators. Now, he had overfulfilled the task. But it would be a waste not to use such a strong master. Although 5 monarchs had died in the blink of an eye, Han Fei believed that he might have to face 20, 30, or even more. The void vibrated. The guy who cursed just now had finally arrived, but Zhao Han Huang and the others were already dead. When the person stepped out of the void, Chu Hao said directly, "He's an immortal level monarch, a veteran one. I can stop him at most, and I can block him for half an hour at most. What are you going to do next? Are you really not going to call him your senior brothers and sisters?" Chu Hao didn't know Han Fei's experience outside. He only knew that Han Fei's real trump card was the Void Temple. Because of this, he wasn't worried that Han Fei would be killed. At the very least, with the Void Temple behind him. What was he afraid of? But now it seemed that Han Fei had no intention of using the resources of the Void Temple at all. However, the surrounding void trembled. He didn't know how Han Fei could fight the 10,000 scale race without using the trump card of the Void Temple. Anyway, it was definitely impossible for Han Fei to do that with him alone. If he were in his peak state, of course he could do it, but he was still thousands of miles away from his peak state. The Beast King and the others had returned to Han Fei. The Beast King was also very nervous, but he knew that Han Fei must have been prepared. But facing a real top powerhouse, it would be fake to say that he wasn't nervous. Gu Tingnan was also waiting. He also wanted to see Han Fei's preparations. He didn't think that Han Fei would joke about the fate of the entire human race. Otherwise, Han Fei wouldn't have been able to become the human emperor. As for Lu Qianxi, he was the calmest one. He thought to himself, his master is awesome. He knows a god, has hooked up with the strongest of the ferocious beasts, and can even fall in love in the Time River. Among these people, any one of them is very powerful, so he didn't think it was possible for these people to kill Han Fei. He was even looking forward to it. He felt that Han Fei was strong enough to be his boss. The immortal level monarch of the 10,000 scale race had just arrived and glared at Han Fei. Good, very good. How dare you attack our 10,000 scale race in front of me? No one can save you today. Chu Hao sighed slightly. He had no choice. He was now the top thug. He could only face such a person. The powerhouse from the 10,000 scale race sneered. No rush. Even if you have the strength comparable to an immortal level beginner, so what? Today, none of you can escape. Han Fei's voice was indifferent. Some people never use their brains when they brag. I suggest you wait for your team to arrive first. The strong master of the 10,000 scale race was provoked by Han Fei's words. Even if his original plan was to wait for his team to arrive, since Han Fei had said so, he had to take down the guy who could kill Zhao Honghuang first. Therefore, the 10,000 scale race powerhouse snorted and stretched out a flame beast. The intense law of fire made even Chu Hao's expression change slightly. Chu Hao clenched his fist, and his fist mark was like a convergence of nebulas as he charged head-on. Rumble. Under the terrifying force, Chu Hao was sent flying more than 3,000 kilometers away. His aura was extremely unstable, and the impact flattened all the mountains within hundreds of thousands of kilometers. The 10,000 scale race powerhouse sneered and was about to take down Chu Hao. Suddenly, he found that a 7-colored mystic light had pierced through the world and even avoided his perception and landed on him. Who is it? The powerhouse of the 10,000 scale race was surrounded by fire magic as if he wanted to shatter the 7-colored mystic light. However, after 3 consecutive puffs, he was pierced through. What? Peak of the immortal level? This person was shocked. Although he knew that the city of scavengers was in great danger this time, he didn't expect it to involve a powerhouse at the peak of the immortal level. Unfortunately, before he saw it, he felt an unbearable itchiness in his body. Then, something began to take root and sprout in his body, producing some spiritual plants. Furthermore, not only were these spiritual plants growing extremely fast, but their fire resistance was also too high. From the moment he was hit, he discovered that something was wrong with his body. These extremely vital demon plants were actually trying to devour his essence blood and even digest his body. Fire burn, flame of chaos. This person no longer attacked Chu Hao. Instead, he tried his best to erupt with terrifying flames, looking like he was about to burn himself up. However, under the power of this fire, the power of the 7-colored mystic light was gradually purified. Chu Hao said in surprise, the flame of chaos is rare. Such a kind of fire seed can be found in the sea realm. Han Fei asked, why? Chu Hao said, it's said that the flame of chaos is a strange flame that can only be picked at the beginning of the age of the gods. However, few people have lived from that era to this day. So, isn't it rare? Oh. You mean the fire of chaos? Chu Hao shook his head. Not exactly. The fire of chaos gave birth to all kinds of unusual flames, not just this one. However, these flames mostly have purifying effects. With that, Chu Hao looked into the void. There, a girl wearing dark blue lipstick and pink blue eyeshadow walked out of the void. The girl looked at the 10,000 scale race powerhouse with disdain. She said, I hate people playing with fire the most. Hey, big guy, as an immortal Level powerhouse, don't you have a conscience for attacking weaklings like them? The 10,000 scale race's immortal level powerhouse retreated quickly and frowned, thinking that this woman couldn't be weaker than him. Otherwise, why? Didn't he notice her when the other party was close? He said, I'm Gao Yuhua, a subordinate of the 10,000 scale monarch of the 10,000 scale race. Who are you? Why do you meddle in the affairs between the 10,000 scale race and the human race? However, the person didn't seem to hear Gao Yuhua's words. Instead, she looked at Han Fei and smiled. I thought about your proposal. Fine, I accept your proposal. At the same time, for the sake of those two little bugs, I can only come personally. The person who came was naturally Li Luoluo, but not for free. The conditions were very simple, the time worm and the space worm. Han Fei had thought that it shouldn't be difficult to go back to rescue old Han and his mother. If he had known that this was a trap of the time temple, he really wouldn't have dared to use this to exchange for Li Luoluo's help. Han Fei nodded slightly and said, actually, my proposal is the most important. I think you should come even for that proposal. Li Luoluo curled her lips. All right. For the sake of your proposal, I'll stand up for you today. Han Fei shook his head. Only standing up for me is not enough. Humph. Han Fei and Li Luoluo chatted and ignored Gao Yuhua, causing the other party's expression to be extremely ugly, but he could only snort coldly. Upon seeing this, Han Fei sneered at Gao Yuhua and said, Why, speechless? Didn't you say you were going to kill us all just now? I gave you a suggestion to wait a little longer, but you didn't listen. Look, now you're injured. Right? Judging from Gao Yuhua's expression, Han Fei knew that he was injured. But it didn't matter. After Gao Yuhua, 8 monarchs walked out, all of whom were carefree level powerhouses. At this point, the corners of Han Fei's mouth couldn't help but twitch. So many carefree level monarchs had appeared at once. Even if the chaotic wasteland had hidden strength, it couldn't be so strong, right? Gao Yuhua sneered. Even if you can find an immortal level powerhouse, do you think that the 10,000 scale race can be easily crushed by an immortal level cultivator? The void was still trembling. After 7 or 8 seconds, as many as 13 Dao proving level powerhouses walked out. Han Fei. To be honest, Han Fei was dumbfounded. He couldn't help but look at Gu Tingnan. Gu Tingnan thought to himself, I didn't know they had so many strong masters. How can I be blamed for this? Gao Yuhua snorted coldly. Now, I don't know if you still have the confidence to say this. Han Fei was speechless. Did the city of scavengers send out all the strength they had accumulated over the years? He was even more surprised. How many monarchs had the 10,000 scale race cultivated over the past hundreds of thousands of years? Even if every major faction in the Sea Realm had hidden strong masters, there shouldn't be so many. He believed that there should be many sky-opening realm powerhouses in the city of scavengers. Excluding those in the so-called transit area, there might be between 100,000 to 150,000 sky-openers who could return. However, even with this ratio, how many monarchs could be born? The sky-opening realm had multiple levels. Only more than 1/10 of them could really reach the perfected star transformation realm. Even if there were really tens of thousands of perfected star transformation realm cultivators in the city of scavengers, now that one immortal level powerhouse ate carefree Level powerhouses, and even 13 Dao-proving level powerhouses had appeared. Plus the 5 who had died previously and the captured Ning Tianlong, there were as many as 28 Dao-proving level powerhouses. There were 28 monarchs. Han Fei couldn't help but think that even the Divine Capital Dynasty only had a dozen monarchs. Could it be that the City of Scavengers had more monarchs than the Divine Capital Dynasty? Han Fei looked at Gu Tingnan, who shook his head slightly. I've already sent a message. Han Fei's face darkened. What was important was not the 13 Dao-proving level powerhouses, but the 8 carefree level powerhouses. This realm couldn't be underestimated. The carefree level powerhouses were so powerful that the Beast King, Gu Tingnan, and Lu Qianxi couldn't kill one carefree level monarch even if they worked together. They had to rely on Chu Hao to kill him. Now, the other party had 8 carefree level powerhouses at once. Their current strength was naturally not enough. Gao Yuhua said, "Humans, I'll give you a chance now. Hand over the entire human race. Otherwise, all those who came today will stay." After that, Gao Yuhua looked at Gu Tingnan. Since the City of Wanderers is so disobedient, there's no need for it to exist from today on. Heh. Han Fei sneered and shook his head helplessly. Then he looked at Li Luoluo. Call them out. I'm here to win a battle. I'm not interested in playing a game where less wins more. Li Luoluo, that's not enough. But around Li Luoluo, a world phantom descended, and 5 ferocious beasts appeared at once. 2 of them were a black bear and the silver fox, who were carefree level powerhouses. The other 3 were all at the Dao-proving level. This wasn't all the monarchs of the ferocious beast lineage, but it was impossible for Li Luoluo to really bring all the monarchs of the ferocious beasts. Han Fei felt that it was already not bad to bring so many over. The ferocious beasts? Gao Yuhua's pupils were constricted slightly. Shouldn't the ferocious beasts and divine beasts be in the infinite mining area? How could they participate in the war in the chaotic wasteland? Gu Tingnan was surprised. He knew the relationship between Han Fei and the Emperor Sparrow, but he didn't expect that Han Fei could really invite so many strong masters of the ferocious beasts. At this time, the Emperor Sparrow hadn't grown up yet. Wasn't it like asking a tiger for its skin to cooperate with the ferocious beasts? The Beast King, on the other hand, looked a little excited. He seemed to have found his home. He had been so lonely for so long that he had forgotten that he was a beast. After Han Fei and Li Luoluo finished speaking, he cupped his hands at the void. Your Majesty, please. Although he didn't know if the Queen of Horror was here, Han Fei felt that she should be. Even if it was for Senior Brother Azure Dragon's sword, the Queen of Horror wouldn't be absent. Sure enough, the void rippled, and a graceful figure stepped out of the void. She wore a black dress and bright red wristbands, and behind her was a girl. It was Wu Shuang. Gao Yuhua's face changed again. What a strong vibe. This vibe is even stronger than mine. Another immortal level cultivator? Gao Yuhua was shocked. He knew that this woman was not an ordinary immortal level powerhouse because she was making his hair stand on end. He didn't understand when the human race had the ability to find so many strong masters to stand up for them. Initially, Gao Yuhua thought that he could definitely suppress Han Fei, but the other party had called over 2 immortal level powerhouses and Chu Hao, who was as strong as an immortal level powerhouse. As for the top powerhouses, He couldn't take the upper hand at all. Gao Yuhua couldn't guarantee which of one immortal level cultivator and 8 carefree level ones was stronger, but it was entirely possible for an immortal level cultivator to hold off 8 carefree level monarchs. The Queen of Horror said, "I only represent myself, not the capital of horror. Wu Shuang is here to broaden her horizons and will at most participate in the Dao proving level battle." Han Fei cupped his hands. "Thank you, Queen." After that, Han Fei looked at Wu Shuang. "Have you proved your Dao?" Wu Shuang smiled. "I just proved my Dao a year ago." Han Fei said, "Congratulations." Wu Shuang nodded slightly, indicating that she accepted Han Fei's congratulations. Gao Yuhua frowned. The capital of horror? The capital of horror is so far away from the chaotic wasteland, yet it still wants to meddle in the matters of the chaotic wasteland? Gao Yuhua said, "Since you're a powerhouse in the capital of horror, you should know something about the chaotic wasteland. Do you really want to fall out with our 10,000 scale race? If you do, I'm afraid you're not qualified." The Queen of Horror smiled. "It's none of your business. I'll skin you alive if you say one more word." A weird flame suddenly burned on Gao Yuhua's body. In this situation, he didn't know how to fight. If they really fought, the consequences would be unimaginable. Even if they could resist it in the end, the city of scavengers would be destroyed. More importantly, there were several immortal-level powerhouses on the other side. He felt that he might not be able to resist them. At this moment, the void behind Han Fei and the others trembled. It was the teleportation channel where Han Fei came. Everyone looked at the fluctuation, only to see Jiang Linxian, Han Guanqiu, Ning Tianlong and Bilan and Enfeng coming. The Grand Elder of the Lava Giant tribe and Elder Fire Spear came too. Han Fei was surprised. "Old Han, you." Han Fei suddenly realized that it was the right time. The third fish had come. Jiang Linxian smiled and said, "Fair, after all, we are still members of the human race. We may not be able to directly influence this war, but it won't be a problem to stop a few strong masters of the same level as us." Han Fei didn't let Old Han and the others participate directly because it was impossible to measure their strength. For example, Jiang Linxian could knock out a Dao-proving level powerhouse with a slap, so letting them participate made Han Fei feel that it was the same as letting the senior brothers of the Void Temple participate. Han Guanqiu said lightly, "In fact, you are not ready to start a battle of the strong now." "It doesn't matter." Han Fei didn't want to start a battle of the strong immediately. He had found so many reinforcements, not just to start a war. At this moment, Gao Yuhua was also dumbfounded. Another 3 monarchs had come. Why did this human race suddenly have so many strong masters? Also, Ning Tianlong was skewered on a spear and turned into meat in other people's hands. But when Gao Yuhua saw the other 2 people, his heart did a flip. Yes, how could he forget that there was not only the city of scavengers, but also the city of origin in the chaotic wasteland? Even if the human race found enough power to resist or even slightly suppress the city of scavengers, what if the city of origin joined this war? If that happened, the situation would be reversed. Old Han picked the 3 people, came to Han Fei, pressed them into the void, and patted Han Fei's shoulder. "Your strategy is good. It can win people's hearts." Han Guanqiu seemed to have seen through Han Fei's thoughts, so he encouraged him. After throwing the 3 people in front of Han Fei, he returned to Jiang Lin Xian with a smile and watched the show in silence. The Grand Elder and Elder Fire Spear, on the other hand, were astounded. Was this the outside world? There were nearly 40 monarchs here, and they seemed ready to fight at any time. Was this the Sea Realm? It was indeed dangerous. If they came to this world rashly, they might really be eaten up without even leaving a bone, as Han Fei said. Gao Yuhua said, "Human, it's hard to imagine that you, a perfected star transformation realm cultivator, are the leader of this battle. I commend you. However, don't you think it's a little overconfident to deal with the city of scavengers and the city of origin at the same time?" Gao Yuhua was relieved to see Han Guanchu picking two people from the Yin family. In the chaotic wasteland, although the city of scavengers and the city of origin had always been in a half-peaceful and half-opposite state, the Yin family probably wouldn't sit by and do nothing in this situation. Furthermore, it was the Yin family who first sent their people back. This meant that something must have happened in the city of origin too. Otherwise, the Yin family wouldn't have sent people back. If he guessed right, the people from the city of origin should be arriving soon. When they arrived, the situation would be subtle again. After hearing Gao Yuhua's words, Han Fei grinned. "Do you think the city of origin will participate in this war?" Gao Yuhua's face darkened, but a voice in the void answered him. The voice said bluntly, "No." Buzz. Another figure broke out of the void. It was a purple-robed young man who was naturally on the immortal level. Behind him were two carefree level powerhouses. The three of them couldn't help but sigh when they saw this scene. They had thought that something big had happened in the city of origin, but when they returned, they found 5 great Dao cracks in a row. Clearly, 5 monarchs had died. One of them was even comparable to an immortal level cultivator. If the 5 monarchs who died weren't from the city of origin, they could only be from the city of scavengers. If In Bilan and In Feng hadn't been captured, this young man wouldn't have been involved in this game. Even though he knew that In Heng was already dead, the In family's immortal level powerhouse didn't intend to get involved. However, even if he wouldn't get involved, he still said, "Let go of the people from our city of origin. Then I can stay out of this matter." However, Han Fei suddenly grinned. "What if I don't?" The city of origin naturally wouldn't meddle in the grudges between the human race and the city of scavengers. What the city of origin wanted to see more was a war between Han Fei and the city of scavengers. When the two sides were almost evenly matched, neither side would win. This was what they wanted to see. Of course, even if the city of origin wanted to fight instead of watching the show, so what? Even if his primary goal was the city of scavengers, Han Fei wasn't afraid of the city of origin. Since he dared to fight today, he didn't expect it to be easy. Therefore, although the In family's immortal level powerhouse wanted the people of the In family, Han Fei didn't intend to give them to him. Especially In Bilan, he would never let him go back to his carefree life. Gao Yuhua said, "And Wu Ming, don't try to take advantage of us. You should know that the city of scavengers will not be defeated. You have seen his attitude. He is extremely arrogant. Do you think he will let go of your city of origin? If he has a chance?" And Wu Ming snorted. "Does Gao Yuhua think I'm an idiot? It's obviously a war between you. Although I don't know where the human race found so many strong masters, there are so many monarchs here. Do you think I'll be your thug?" Besides, it was obvious that the city of scavengers was not stronger than the human race, so unless the big shot of the city of scavengers returned, the city of scavengers would definitely suffer heavy losses in this battle. However, Han Fei's attitude did piss him off. And Wu Ming said, "Of course you can refuse to let them go. Their lives are insignificant to me. However, this concerns the face of our city of origin. And today's battle concerns the fate of the human race. Are you sure you want to see your battle affected because of these two people? Are you threatening me?" Han Fei looked at An Wu Ming calmly and indifferently. He didn't compromise at all just because An Wu Ming was an immortal-level powerhouse. Although An Wu Ming said you can continue, he didn't leave. He meant to tell Han Fei that if I, an immortal-level powerhouse, don't leave, will you be able to fight this battle in peace? He was forcing Han Fei to surrender. However, Han Fei didn't buy it at all. He pointed the god-shattering scissors at An Feng. Then, he looked up at An Wu Ming and said casually, "I forgot to tell you that I hate being threatened the most." Crack. Puff. With a click, the god-shattering scissors cut An Feng's body and soul. At this time, An Feng was still alive. She just looked at Han Fei in horror, thinking, "How dare he? Is he crazy?" Even Li Luoluo, the Queen of Horror, Gu Tingnan, the Beast King, and the others all looked at Han Fei in shock. Was Han Fei out of his mind? What was the point of angering the city of origin at this time? And Wu Ming's face changed. "Boy, are you declaring war on our city of origin?" Han Fei sneered and activated the Ragnarok. He grabbed An Feng's soul and rubbed it. "How dare you?" Rumble. A great Dao crack appeared in the sky. And Feng didn't even know why she suddenly died. She didn't think Han Fei would kill her. Even just now, she felt that although Han Fei was crazy, he was still holding back. Gu Tingnan said frankly to Han Fei via voice transmission, "This concerns the human race's fate. How can you be so impulsive?" Han Fei sneered. "You think you can stay out of this battle? I've thought about it for a long time, and I still think that the three factions in the chaotic wasteland are too many. One faction is already enough." And Wu Ming didn't expect Han Fei to be so unpredictable. He attacked without any scruples and even provoked him. Han Fei ignored Gu Tingnan and said leisurely, "Declare war? Of course, in this war, no one can win except for the invincible human race." And Wu Ming's face was cold. "I didn't want to fight you, but you are so arrogant and lawless. How dare you slaughter our family's monarchs in public? I'd like to see what you've got to challenge the city of scavengers and the city of origin at the same time." Buzz. Han Fei successfully angered An Wu Ming. A world phantom appeared, and 6 carefree-level powerhouses appeared behind An Wu Ming. And Wu Ming said, "Our city of origin doesn't have a good relationship with the city of scavengers, but since you are competent enough to challenge our two cities at the same time, I'll satisfy you." Gao Yuhua, on the other hand, didn't say anything. The situation was very unfavorable to his side, but Han Fei was too pretentious. He even got An Wu Ming involved. But that was good. And Wu Ming and the 6 carefree-level powerhouses directly reversed the situation. Now he wanted to see how Han Fei would deal with this situation. Did he still have anyone else to summon? A cold smile appeared on Han Fei's lips. He pointed his finger at An Wu Ming and said, "I'll give you some time. Call all the powerhouses of your family back. I might be able to spare your life. This is your last chance to survive. Everyone? Li Luoluo looked at Han Fei and blinked. There was no telling what she was thinking. The Queen of Horror also looked at Han Fei deeply. There must be a reason for this abnormality. Surviving and growing up to this day, Han Fei was certainly not a brainless person. When Han Fei was in the Divine Capital Dynasty, he caused a great uproar. However, this guy kept causing trouble, but came back first place in the 100,000-year competition. Now, she seemed to smell the same thing. Chu Hao pondered, wondering if Han Fei was going to use the power of the Void Temple. In the arena, everyone thought that Han Fei must have some trump cards. He was even as crazy as declaring war on the city of scavengers and the city of origin at the same time. How could he not have any trump cards? However, no one knew what made Han Fei so confident. Gu Tingnan couldn't figure it out. He had clearly told Han Fei that the heritage of the city of origin was even deeper than that of the city of scavengers. What was the significance of Han Fei offending the city of origin? Now? In the field, only two people looked calm and even smiled. They were Jiang Linxian and Han Guanqiu. Jiang Linxian said to Han Guanqiu via voice transmission, "Fei is a bit aggressive. It seems that the human emperor path Fei took is quite different from the one you took back then." Han Guanqiu nodded. Yes. This kid is stronger. Because his trial has nothing to do with the city of origin, he doesn't treat the city of origin as an enemy at all. But he seems to intend to destroy it. Jiang Linxian nodded. That's easy to understand. The city of scavengers and the city of origin live together in the chaotic wasteland, so their styles and habits shouldn't be much different. Even without the 10,000 scale race, they would probably enslave the human race. Therefore, Fei probably just doesn't fancy the city of origin. Or maybe he wants to occupy the entire chaotic wasteland. Han Guanqiu nodded. Yes. Then I'm curious about what methods he will use to occupy this place. TSK. I haven't seen him for hundreds of years. This kid has changed a lot. And Wu Ming was amused. Wasn't it too casual for him to call for reinforcements? Just because Han Fei threatened him? Besides, Han Fei's attitude pissed him off the most. If he couldn't take this person down today, how could he show up in public in the future? How could he face the strong masters of the city of scavengers when he returned to that place? And Wu Ming was confident that even a great monarch wouldn't be able to kill him easily. And Wu Ming said ruthlessly, "What a lawless human emperor. Do you think you're a big shot just because you found a few reinforcements? Listen up, no one can save the human race today." Han Fei grinned and said, "You finally spoke your mind? Wasn't that your plan from the beginning?" And Wu Ming asked, "Are you going to reveal your trump card? If not, Gao Yuhua. Let's team up for now." Gao Yuhua said, "That's exactly what I want. We'll settle our grievances internally. This human being thinks that he can do whatever he wants just because he has found some helpers. Today, I'll let him know that once he's a slave, he will be a slave for life." Han Fei shook his head slightly. "You don't even know my trump card, and you dare to speak so arrogantly?" Gao Yu's expression returned to calm. "It doesn't matter. No matter what your trump card is, you will die today. The human race will never be able to Walk out of this chaotic wasteland. As Gao Yuhua spoke, he glanced at the Queen of Horror and the others. So what? If she was at the immortal level? She wasn't a great monarch and couldn't play any decisive role. Han Fei looked at An Wuming and chuckled. Then, he took out a scale and said. Leisurely, I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Crack. The scale shattered, turned into a wisp of black smoke, and disappeared. And An Wuming and Gao Yuhua were connected to an unknown space almost at the same time. Although they thought they were strong, they would never underestimate Han Fei. No one would underestimate a human who could summon so many helpers and cross realms to kill a monarch. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. Just when everyone thought that the scale had lost its effect, suddenly, the area within millions of kilometers seemed to be instantly locked down. An unparalleled pressure descended on this world. At this moment, be it Gao Yuhua, An Wuming, Li Luoluo, the Queen of Horror, or even Chu Hao, they were all stunned. Great monarch? It can't be a great monarch. They were all immortal-level powerhouses. Chu Hao was even an extremely powerful great monarch in the past, but he was still shocked at this moment. At that moment, the corners of Chu Hao's mouth trembled. God? Gao Yuhua and An Wuming immediately activated a trace of the mark in their bodies to send a message to an unknown existence. Only Han Guanchu's lips trembled as he looked at Jiang Linxian. A new god? But he is much stronger than new gods. TSK. This kid actually used such a trump card here? What a spendthrift. Jiang Linxian said, Feier has his own reasons for doing this. In fact, it's not necessarily a good thing to have the protection of a god. Otherwise, if you and I forcibly help him, with Feier's talent, it's completely possible for him to become a god, but so what? A god can't save all races. Han Guanchu and Jiang Linxian were discussing it in private, but the others who saw this scene were all shocked. The Queen of Horror and Li Luoluo were stunned. Is this the strongest powerhouse of the Void Temple? In order to deal with these two factions, even King God came out? Everyone was speechless. Since Han Fei had such a trump card, why did he need their help? Weren't they just a decoration here? In the black fog, a young man in black stood in the void. The demon god looked at the situation here and then at Han Fei, saying calmly, I didn't expect you to use this opportunity so quickly, but this is your right. Tell me, what is it? Han Fei raised his hand and pointed at An Wuming. This race is called the Heavenly Cicada family. They own the city of origin in the chaotic wasteland. I want them exterminated. Hiss. At that moment, An Wuming felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Exterminated? Earlier, when he talked to Han Fei, he was very arrogant. But at this moment, he was stunned. He murmured, impossible. How can there be a god in this world? In fact, the demon god didn't see the situation clearly. The two sides were actually evenly matched. Why did Han Fei call him over? But from what he heard, this guy actually asked him to come and wipe out an entire race? The demon god paused and said, I won't attack anyone below the monarch level. But I can help you kill all the strong masters at the monarch level and above in the race. So, are you sure you want to do this? Han Fei nodded. I'm sure. Leave no one alive, including their great monarchs hiding behind the chaotic wasteland. Han Fei believed that the city of scavengers and city of origin had great monarchs. Although he didn't know why they were hiding it, only great monarch level powerhouses could give these two cities such confidence. Han Fei simply didn't want to consider where they were. Since he had used the favor of the demon god, he might as well use it more thoroughly. Chu Hao looked at Han Fei in shock. Why did this guy use such a trump card? Here? Gu Tingnan was dumbfounded. A god? Han Fei had only been in the sea realm for less than 600 years, but he had already known a god? Gu Tingnan was speechless. How had he spent the past 100,000 years? The long 100,000 years wasn't even as useful as Han Fei's 600 years. In fact, at first, Han Fei didn't intend to use the trump card of the demon god. He did this because his mother said that old Han had also walked the path of the human emperor. These words meant a lot to him. When the old turtle gave up Puppet City, he had thought that even the puppet city that the old turtle had spent almost his entire life building had been given up. Then what about the human race? As the human emperor, the human race was his weakness. Although he had never thought of giving up the path of the human emperor, at least before he became strong, he wanted to create a powerful human race. He wanted to build his image as a ruthless human emperor. Therefore, whoever violated the dignity of the human race must die. Furthermore, the city of origin wasn't a stepping stone on his path to Tao. Proving, so the demon god's actions wouldn't affect his trial. He had used the power to destroy a super faction, saving him many years of planning. At this moment, An Wuming was dumbfounded. How long had it been since a god appeared in the sea realm? He never would have guessed that Han Fei could summon a god-level powerhouse just because he threatened him. And Wuming hurriedly said, "Our city of origin quits. From now on, we won't interfere in any matters of the human race. We can also rule the chaotic wasteland together with the human race. Please don't be rash." At this moment, An Wuming panicked. He changed his attitude and even gave up a huge benefit. However, Han Fei just glanced at him indifferently and shook his head slightly. "It's too late. Senior, please do it." As the only god in the current sea realm, the demon god could be said to be invincible. Besides, the demon god didn't want to owe anyone a favor. It was definitely a good thing for him to return the favor at such a time. Otherwise, when Han Fei became a great monarch, God knew what kind of opponent he would have to face. The demon god pointed at the void, and darkness fell in the space wherein Wuming and the others were. Enveloped by the divine will, the void shattered, and the great Daos melted in that space. Billions of mystic lights descended in the darkness, and An Wuming and the 6 carefree level powerhouses behind him suddenly had their bodies shattered, their souls scattered into countless crystal light particles, and their bodies were swallowed by the black fog. In just 3 seconds, An Wuming and the others were gone. Everything there had melted as if it had never appeared. Rumble. Rumble. In the sky, the cracks of the great Tao crisscrossed. Blood diffused here, dyeing the sky red for a long time. The next moment, the demon god stepped out and disappeared without a trace. Gulp. Knock, knock, knock. Everybody was swallowing, and the monarch's hearts were racing. Gao Yuhua and the others were all shivering as if they had been doused with freezing spring water. Before anyone could recover from this shocking blow, great Tao cracks appeared in the world again. It should be those monarchs left in the city of origin. Rumble. Rumble. 9 great Tao cracks appeared in a row. One of the great Tao cracks was even comparable to Enwuming's great Tao crack. It directly affected the city of scavengers. Everyone knew that the city of origin was doomed. The monarchs who had returned this time must have all died. But they were only the monarchs who had returned. In that mysterious place, there might still be monarchs who hadn't returned. A place above the ice seemed to be the center of the icy world, which was connected to a chaotic void. After the demon god crossed this space, he saw that the endless sky was sealed by ice and hanging upside down above the sea of stars. The condensed ice was like a dam, seeming to block the existence of something. In the middle of this dam, there was a sealed gate, and around this gate, there was actually a sea of fire. In the sea of fire, at this moment, several void passages were opening. Hundreds of thousands of sky-opening realm powerhouses were entering these passages. It seemed that they were returning to the chaotic wasteland to participate in the battle. When the demon god arrived, 3 pairs of eyes immediately looked at him from the sea of fire. Huh? It's you, Zhang Shaoling? The demon god was a little surprised to see one of them. He didn't expect to see an acquaintance in the sea realm 1.8 million years later. Gulp. The man named Zhang Shaoling took a sip of the wine from his gourd and laughed. Heavenly Monarch Jiang, long time no see. The demon god nodded. Interesting. This is the legendary chaotic ice domain, right? I didn't expect it to be connected to the Sea of Stars. Zhang Shaoling nodded. Are you interested in staying here for a while? The demon god shook his head slightly. I'm afraid I don't have time. I'm here to return a favor. You won't stop me from killing a few people, right? Zhang Shaoling laughed out loud. Of course not. Today is a special day. Even a god-level powerhouse like you came. TSK, do whatever you like. When the demon god was reminiscing with Zhang Shaoling, the 2 great monarchs of the 10,000 scale race and the Yin family had a bad feeling. Why was there a god in the sea realm? A god-level powerhouse wanted to kill someone here? Was this related to the turmoil in the chaotic wasteland? The one who was most scared was the great monarch of the 10,000 scale race. He felt that the god was definitely coming for him. This was because he knew that the human who had always been even more lowly than ants had actually launched a counterattack. And it just so happened that this god-level powerhouse came today. If he wasn't here for him, who else could he look for? However, the demon god said, who is from the city of origin? The 10,000 scale monarch? Zhang Shaoling pointed at a young man in white clothes and said, He is. And Tianming from the Yin family. *T. And Tianming's expression was solemn. Behind him, there were 1 immortal level, 3 carefree level, and 7 Tao proving level cultivators. When the demon god mentioned the city of origin, they all tensed up. As for the sky-opening realm army that was entering the teleportation channels, they were all dumbfounded. They didn't even dare to look at the demon god, because as long as they looked at him, their souls would be shaken. Or even their heads would shatter. And Tianming said, Sir, I wonder if there's any misunderstanding between our city of origin and you. My Yin family is a descendant of the heavenly cicada ancestral god, but we still have the wings of the heavenly cicada ancestral god. I'm willing to offer them to you with both hands. May you appease your anger, sir. Divine wings? The demon god chuckled. It's good stuff, but it's meaningless to me. And Tianming looked nervous, and then he seemed to make a decision. His voice was cold. Since you are a god, how can you wipe out our family just because of a favor? Our family used to protect the myriad races. I, a great monarch, have been guarding this place for hundreds of thousands of years. It's not an easy job. Can't it offset a favor from that weak human race? The demon god snorted and said indifferently, protecting the myriad races is also self-protection. What's there to boast about? As for guarding this place, are you guarding it? You're just seizing the power of this place. Also, the human race is not weak. As one of the 6 primordial races, their legacy has never been discontinued since the chaotic era. How can your lousy race be compared to the human race? The demon god raised his hand and said indifferently, in this vast universe, the myriad races are just a passerby in this world. I will keep a trace of your bloodline and return it to the bloodline divine tree. As for you, die. Why? At that moment, Tianming turned into a giant cicada and his voice resounded. Between the heavens and earth, in ancient times, there was a great monarch who killed a god. Now I, Tianming, want to try the power of a god too. Chirp. Who was the heavenly cicada chirping for? The cicada sound that seemed to be able to penetrate 10,000 worlds resounded in the sea realm, and the 5 divine realms heard it at the same time. In the 9 heavens secluded pavilion in the divine capital dynasty of the East Sea divine realm, great monarch East Marshal frowned. Heavenly cicada. Chant? Did something happen in the chaotic wasteland? Except for the East Sea divine realm, in every corner of other divine realms, there were great monarchs who looked solemn. The heavenly cicada's mournful cry spread throughout all the worlds. This is the sign of the death of a great monarch. Who has the ability to kill a great monarch? What is the East Sea divine realm doing? Does the ominous invade? Who is killing a great monarch? At the edge of the South Sea divine realm and the West Sea divine realm, a group of strong masters in black came from the south and went west. The sound of the heavenly cicada spread throughout the sea realm, and many people in the team were arguing. What's that sound? I don't know. It's a bit like the wind-riding cicada in the miracle forest. But the voice isn't right. Forget it. There must be strong masters fighting in the West Wilderness. Everyone, be careful. This trip is dangerous. Don't meddle in what you shouldn't. Huh? Chani, why are you in a daze? You've even exposed your breath. A black-clothed girl was woken up by her companions and replied indifferently. Nothing. I just feel that this voice is a little familiar. Someone smiled indifferently. Of course. In the miracle forest, many of us died under the perception of the wind-riding cicada. I will never forget this voice for the rest of my life. The girl nodded. Let's go. In an ancient mine in the Ghost Strait in the East Sea divine realm, a spear light suddenly shot across the sky. Huh. Junior brother why have you come out of seclusion? You've just created the ground veins and should consolidate them. Why have you come out of seclusion now? Zhang Xuanyu said solemnly, Senior sister, I'm going out. Where are you going? You'd better not go anywhere now. When your strength stabilizes, you can go star hunting. At that time, you will become the first heavenly talent in the history of the Ghost Strait to cross from the peak level of the sea establishment realm to the peak level late-stage star transformation realm within 100 years. All of us are looking forward to It. Zhang Xuanyu shook his head slightly. Senior sister, I have to go on this trip. There are some things I have to do. If I don't go, I will become an inner demon in my heart. Senior sister, please help me. The senior sister was puzzled. Is it related to the cicada sound? I heard the cicada sound too. I don't know where it came from, but it's definitely not within the jurisdiction of our ghost strait, which means that it's very far away from here. Maybe the things over there have already ended when you reach it. Zhang Xuanyu shook his head. Whether or not it's over, I have to go on this trip. Even if I only take a look, I want to see it with my own eyes, senior sister. The senior sister's expression changed. It was the first time she had seen Zhang Xuanyu so serious. She gritted her teeth and said, "You can go, but I have to be by your side. Otherwise, although you are a genius, your realm is still too low. I can tell you clearly that the person who can make such a cicada sound is at least at the immortal level." Zhang Xuanyu said, "I don't care about his strength. If I don't go on this trip, I won't feel at ease." In the sky crater world of the East Sea Divine Realm. At this moment, a team was fighting an undead army. Suddenly, a figure in the team stopped in shock. Someone was puzzled. Xiaobai, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with the cicada sound? This person was dressed in white. Who else could it be but Luo Xiaobai? She suddenly said, "Captain, I am applying to leave the team for a while." The man was lost for words. Leave the team? You just joined the team less than 100 years ago. Luo Xiaobai said, "In the past 100 years, I killed 23 sky-opening realm undead creatures. By logic, I've already fulfilled the requirements to leave the sky crater world. The rules say that I can exchange merit points for cultivation periods. With my merit points, I can leave for 500 years. This person asked in surprise, "What happened? Why are you suddenly leaving? What's wrong with the cicada sound?" Luo Xiaobai raised her head, looked at the sky, and said indifferently, "This is a signal to tell me that some people are waiting for me." Okay. However, there are so many good things you can exchange for with your merit points. Was it worth it to waste your cultivation period just for this voice? This doesn't seem like a choice you, Luo Xiaobai, would make. You're a little sentimental now. Luo Xiaobai smiled faintly. Some things can't be treated rationally. Luo Xiaobai's head was clear. The moment the sound of the heavenly cicada sounded, she knew what had happened. This sound could reach the sky crater world, and its coverage was so wide that it couldn't have been triggered by an ordinary monarch. Even if Xia Xiaochan had changed her cultivation path, it was impossible for her to prove Dao so quickly. Even if she could prove Dao, she couldn't be so strong, so it couldn't be her. There was only one result, which was the infamily that Han Fei had mentioned. She knew that something must have happened in the chaotic wasteland and a war might have already started over there. Although it might be too late to go now, she couldn't be at ease if she didn't. In the wilderness of the West Wilderness. In a bandit den, a fatty was skillfully rolling the skewers in his hand, humming a cheerful tune. After that, he sniffed the barbecue and exclaimed, "I'm afraid even Fei Fei doesn't have as much meat as me. Shall I save some jerky for him?" Yes, this fatty was Lu Renquang. God knew how he ended up in the West Wilderness. The moment the cicada chirped, Lu Renquang froze in place and looked at the sky in shock. After being stunned for 4 or 5 seconds, Lu Renquang dropped the skewers in his hand and rushed towards the main hall of the bandit village crazily. "Master, master, help me!" a man shouted. "What's the matter? Why are you in such a panic? Is the meat done roasting? That's a primordial mutant. It needs to be roasted for a while longer." Lu Renquang shouted, "Master, take me to the East Sea Divine Realm. It'll be too late if you delay any longer." "Are you dreaming? Do you know how far away the East Sea Divine Realm is? Even if I take you there at full speed, it will take at least 10 days or half a month." However, Lu Renquang hugged his master's thigh and said with snot and tears, "Master, I'm not joking this time. I really want to go there. I have to go there." "Huh? Is it the cicada sound? Is it related to you?" Lu Renquang nodded. Yes, it's related to me. It has a lot to do with me." The rough man frowned and said, "Do you know what this is?" "This is the sixth Tao. Heavenly cicada, whose voice can spread throughout all worlds. However, to spread his voice throughout the sea realm, this person must be at least a great monarch." "Great monarch?" Lu Renquang was horrified and then screamed, "A great monarch? Master, hurry up, help me save someone." The rough man shook his head. "I can't save him. The great monarch is dying." "Hey, brat, did you find another master behind my back in the East Sea Divine Realm?" Lu Renquang was stunned. "The great monarch is going to die? That's good. Isn't Feifei growing too fast? He can already kill a great monarch?" The rough man said, "What are you mumbling about? Tell me, who the F***CK is. This? I'm going to dig his grave." Lu Renquang said casually, "Do whatever you want. Teacher, I think we'd better still go there. This matter will affect my monarch-level tribulation." "Huh?" The rough-looking man said solemnly, "Are you sure? Don't fool me. Will it really affect your monarch-level tribulation?" Lu Renquang nodded quickly. "Teacher, don't worry. You definitely won't suffer a loss on this trip. When the time comes, I'll get the #1 divine chef in the world to make a few delicious dishes for you." The rough man said, "Didn't you F***king say that you are the #1 divine chef in the world?" Lu Renquang said, "It suddenly occurred to me that if I'm second, that person is first." Pondering for a while, the rough man said, "Fine, let's go there if you insist. But we have to come back as soon as possible. The West Wilderness hasn't been peaceful recently. A lot of demons and ghosts have come. This is your chance." Lu Renquang said, "I promise I'll come back as soon as I see that there's nothing wrong." The cicada chirping resounded throughout the sea realm. At this moment, in the chaotic wasteland, Han Fei and the others all looked at the sky. In an invisible place, the cicada sound, like a demonic sound from the heavens, carried a massive power and covered the demon god. Wherever the cicada sound enveloped, soul power triggered the heavenly Tao, trying to invade the soul of the demon god with infinite power. It was as if he had transformed into a world and used the power of heaven and earth to strangle the demon god. Demon god raised a hand and emitted a starlight, which shot forward amidst the cicada sound surging with soul power. The demon god smiled indifferently. "Half extreme Tao? Heh, even if you are an extreme Tao soul cultivator, you can't shake me at all." The demon god smiled contemptuously. The Tao of extreme balance was originally the dual extreme Tao, and on the basis of extreme chaos, his strength had doubled. How could a mere great monarch shake it? Puff. At that moment, it was as if the world was collapsing. And Tianming's soul was shattered and riddled with holes. Only a wisp of his soul was left. As for his body, it had been shattered by this finger. Countless law patterns dissipated. In the void, this world seemed to reveal a trace of sorrow. Demon God Finger, you are the god of demonic Tao. The 10,000 scale monarch looked at the demon god in horror. Clearly, he had learned something from this finger. But at this moment, when the demon god looked over, he felt a chill down his spine. This was a long-lost soul-killing technique. This soul-killing technique originated from one person and ended because of that person. This person was the legendary demon god, a pioneer of the demonic Tao, the public enemy of the myriad races in the sea realm. 10,000 scale monarch felt his blood freeze. And Tianming, who had fought him for 100,000 years, had died just like that. It was hard for him to accept. The moment Tianming died, the demon god said indifferently, not everyone can fight a god head-on, at least not you. Bang! 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 In the next moment, the carefree level and the Tao-proving level powerhouses of the city of origin had no time to escape before their bodies were shattered. At the moment of their death, they were still deeply puzzled. After killing the powerhouses of the city of origin, the demon god looked at 10,000 scale monarch and said indifferently, "Don't worry. I've returned the favor I owe, so I won't kill you. Our demonic Tao has our own rules." After that, the demon god looked at Zhang Shaoling again and said something strange. "I really don't understand you people. Fine, let's meet again someday." The 10,000 scale monarch was dumbfounded. He left just like that? He had thought that he would be the one to die this time. And the departure of the demon god made him deeply emotional. Is this the power of a god? Zhang Shaoling said, "Don't be sentimental. I think you should return to the city of scavengers as soon as possible. Otherwise, there might not be a city of scavengers in this world. Outside the city of scavengers." Even through the ice, Han Fei seemed to be able to feel the roar of the great Tao. After nearly 10 seconds, the void fluctuated again. This time, a total of 9 people walked out first. The strength of one of them couldn't be seen through. Han Fei felt that the other party was like a deep-sea vortex, impossible to see through. A great monarch? When he saw this figure, Han Fei sneered. The big fish had finally taken the bait. For Han Fei, whether it was Zhao Yuhua, Gao Yuhua, or in Wu Dao, they were all small fries. His purpose to fish for in Wu Dao was simply to obtain the secret about the mysterious place behind the chaotic wasteland from him so that it would be easier for the demon god to take action. And Han Fei's real goal was the 10,000 scale race, including the Real Great Monarch of the 10,000 scale race. Gao Yuhua was too excited to say anything when he saw the 10,000 scale monarch. He had seen the previous scene clearly. He really didn't expect the city of origin to be destroyed in such a way. When the 10,000 scale monarch walked out of the void with 1 immortal level, 2 carefree level, and 5 Tao-proving level monarchs, Gao Yuhua was so excited that his heart was pounding. Fortunately, the great monarch was fine. When he heard the cicada sound just now, he was really frightened. The god had clearly fulfilled his promise. When Han Fei said that he wanted the city of origin to be wiped out, the god helped him fulfill it. Although he didn't attack anyone below the monarch level, without monarchs, no matter how many sky openers the city of origin had, it was nothing. What he was most afraid of was that the god killed the 10,000 scale monarch too. If that happened, even if the 10,000 scale monarch wasn't wiped out today, they would be wiped out tomorrow. Gao Yuhua was glad that the 10,000 scale monarch was still alive, but the latter didn't think so. He already knew that the human race had taken action. But the enemy of the human race was clearly him. Logically speaking, the god should destroy the 10,000 scale monarch, but the demon god destroyed the city of origin. This was abnormal. Therefore, at this moment, the 10,000 scale monarch still felt as if he were facing a great enemy. This was because the other party had deliberately left the 10,000 scale race behind, which meant that he didn't want the demon god to interfere. This meant that even if the demon god didn't interfere, the other party had the means to deal with the 10,000 scale race. However, if the god didn't take action, he really couldn't think of any way for the human race to destroy his 10,000 scale race. At this moment, Gao Yuhua and the others all bowed, feeling that their backbone had come. As for the 10,000 scale monarch, after observing the situation, he was secretly relieved to find that the power of the reinforcements the human race had found didn't exceed the 10,000 scale race. Gao Yuhua seemed to say something telepathically, and the 10,000 scale monarch looked at Han Fei. "Are you the current human emperor?" Han Fei said calmly, "As you can see, I am." The 10,000 scale monarch stared at Han Fei for several seconds, and Han Fei stared back fearlessly. After a stalemate of about 10 seconds, the 10,000 scale monarch low and dignified voice sounded, "If you want the human race, I'll give it to you." Heh. Han Fei sneered. "Let's make it clear. It's not you who will give it to me. But I'll take it from you. Besides, as a great monarch, do you think you can pretend the 10,000 scale race hadn't enslaved our human race for 100,000 years? 10,000 scale monarch eyes were intimidating. "What do you want?" "The god has left. What can you do?" The corners of Han Fei's mouth curled up slightly. "Now, I want a fair war. The 10,000 scale race bullied our human race, so our human race will naturally take revenge with our own hands. If you don't want to talk about fairness with me, that's fine. I have many monarch friends. I don't have to talk about fairness with you. Do you have a great monarch?" Han Fei sneered. "Not only great monarchs can kill great monarchs. If you want to play tough, try it." The two were still confronting each other. Han Fei didn't doubt that he would win this battle. In his opinion, the result was already decided. However, the process was very important. Finally, the 10,000 scale monarch relented. He was not afraid of the people Han Fei called over, but he was afraid that another demon godlike existence would appear and stir up the situation here. Furthermore, he roughly understood what Han Fei meant. He said, "You want to use our 10,000 scale race as your stepping stone to prove Dao and walk your path of the human emperor. Fine, I'll fulfill your wish. Let's see how you, a mere perfected star transformation realm cultivator, can survive this trial." Han Fei didn't care about the threat of the 10,000 scale monarch. He simply said casually, "In that case, let's begin." 10,000 scale monarch asked, "How do we start?" However, Han Fei grinned. Haven't you 10,000 scale race always regarded the city of wanderers as a tool for training? This time, we might as well play it big and let you guys train as much as you can. At the same time, I'll wait for our fellow humans to fight for themselves and escape from misery. Do you think I called so many people over to play with you? The 10,000 scale monarch snorted coldly. Just with a mere city of wanderers? As a great monarch, he naturally knew what was happening in the major cities and villages. The villages of the city of scavengers closest to him were at war. And almost all the people in those villages had been tricked away by some sea establisher humans and were gathering. The 10,000 scale monarch sneered. Are you overestimating the city of wanderers? These people and a group of sea establishers want to take people away from the chaotic wasteland? A few sky openers want to attack the main city of the city of scavengers? Han Fei smiled casually. I mean, with my strength. With your strength? You're only a perfected star transformation realm cultivator. Even if you have some ability, how can you shake the city of scavengers? Han Fei grinned. I'm the emperor of the human race. I'll pick up my people myself. This is my trial and my path to prove Tao. Before I save the human race enslaved by the city of scavengers, I don't need anyone's help. Of course, my strength is already equivalent to the Tao proving level. Therefore, anyone below the carefree level can attack me. The 10,000 scale monarch sneered. This is your so-called trial? You found so many people to pin down the powerhouses of our 10,000 scale race, but you went to kill our clansmen? Don't you find it ridiculous? Han Fei shrugged. Ridiculous? You mean it's not ridiculous if I'm to fight an entire race alone? My trial is mainly about saving the human race, restoring the hope in the hearts of the human race, and letting them witness the rise of our human race. Therefore, from the beginning, this was not my trial alone, but the trial of the entire human race. Han Fei looked at the trembling void where the sky-opening realm army from the city of scavengers had returned. At this moment, these people finally returned. But what greeted them was so many monarchs in the sky. This made these 10,000 scale race powerhouses dumbfounded. They had no idea what had happened. The 10,000 scale monarch said, so, without using these external forces, how can you win? How can your human race win? The 10,000 scale race had a total of more than 150,000 sky openers. If it were the old Han Fei, he would have been dumbfounded. The voice of the 10,000 scale monarch sounded in the ears of every sky opening realm powerhouse of the 10,000 scale race. Now I order you to push out from the main city of the city of scavengers and kill everyone who is attacking the city. If the other party retreats, don't kill them. Then he looked at Han Fei. As I said, if you want the human race, you can take them away. This matter ends here. As for whether there will be another war between us, that's for the future. Although the 10,000 scale monarch controlled an army of hundreds of thousands, after witnessing the power of the demon god, he didn't want to start a war with the human race at this moment. He felt that there must be a trap. Han Fei certainly wouldn't negotiate with the 10,000 scale monarch. He just smiled in disdain. It's not like I don't have a sky-opening realm army. Behind Han Fei, the phantom of a city appeared. When the words puppet city appeared in everyone's vision, when the 200,000-strong puppet army stood in front of the city in an orderly manner. The 10,000-scale monarch face darkened. As for Gao Yuhua, his expression changed slightly as he said in surprise, "Are you the master of the Emperor Sparrow?" Suddenly, the 10,000-scale monarch heard Gao Yuhua say to him via voice. Transmission. "My lord, I remember now. The infinite mining area asked us for reinforcements several times just for this puppet city. In the end, the puppet city was taken by a guy who called himself the Human Butcher. He seemed to have obtained the inheritance of the great monarch Mystic Marshal." Great monarch Mystic Marshal? 10,000-scale monarch asked, does it mean that his other trump card might be this great monarch Mystic Marshal? 10,000-scale monarch and great monarch Mystic Marshal were not from the same era, and they were far away and not familiar with each other, so he didn't react at this moment. However, the identity of the master of the Emperor Sparrow made him frown. This was difficult. This meant that he couldn't kill this person. It was said that whoever killed the Emperor Sparrow would die. Whether this rumor was groundless or not, he certainly wouldn't kill him if he could. But now, although he didn't want to kill this person, the other party didn't appreciate his kindness and wanted to fight to the death with the city of scavengers. For a moment, he didn't think of a way to break through the dilemma. At this moment, Han Fei was pointing at the sky-opening realm powerhouses of the 10,000-scale race and ordering, kill them without mercy. Before these sky-opening realm powerhouses of the 10,000-scale race could take action, they were blocked by the puppet army that swarmed over like flying locusts. The puppet army didn't care who you were. Once the military order was given, they would kill whoever stood in their way. Therefore, they set up a military formation and arrows flew across the sky. A battle was about to break out. While the 10,000-scale race's sky-opening realm army and the puppet army were fighting each other, Han Fei was confronting the 10,000-scale monarch. In the major cities under the rule of the city of scavengers, humans had already launched an official charge. This time, the city of wanderers had come all out. In terms of head-on combat without any other external elements, the city of wanderers was indeed no worse than the city of scavengers or the city of origin. This was why Gu Tingnan had led an army several times to attack the two cities, and even rushed straight into the city of origin to kill. Therefore, Gu Tingnan didn't intend to hold back in this battle. He used all the trump cards he had accumulated for the last 10,000 years. This was because he knew that this was his only chance. Since Han Fei had thrown the hidden power behind the city of scavengers to the table, he must be 100% confident that he could restrain the existing power of the city of scavengers. If the two human emperors couldn't save the human race even if they went all out, so what even if he endured for another 100,000 years? Therefore, in order to escape the fate of being a tool, Gu Tingnan had to try his best. The reason why the humans had entered the official killing phase so quickly was that too many monarchs had died today, one after another, each stronger than the last. Although they didn't know where these monarchs were from, so far, no one had come to kill them. This meant that the Master of Silence and his men hadn't been defeated. However, under the stimulation of the repeated deaths of monarchs, they didn't dare to waste any time, so they launched such a crazy charge. As for Han Fei, he stomped and disappeared from the confrontation of the monarchs. The trail for him and the entire human race had officially begun. From this moment, in the villages under the city of scavengers, because of the deaths of monarchs, great Dao cracks appeared one after another. This made more and more people believe the words of the 7-kill army unconditionally. Rumble. 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 Tens of thousands of villages and billions of human beings were stunned by the terrifying astronomical phenomena. However, the 7-kill army all roared, "My fellow human beings, this is the emperor of our human race slaying monarchs." Every great Tao crack represents the death of a monarch. I hope everyone doesn't waste the painstaking efforts of Master Human Emperor. Now, quickly enter my origin sea, and I will take you to witness this peerless battle. Although the people of the 7-kill army didn't know why there were suddenly so many monarchs, they knew that something unimaginable must have happened. Someone was surprised. A great Tao crack represents the death of a monarch? But I heard that there is only one monarch in the city of scavengers, the 10,000 scale monarch. How can there be so many monarchs? Someone from the 7-kill army shouted. They said there is only one monarch, so there is only one? Think about it. Where have the resources you painstakingly accumulated every 100 years gone? Didn't they all fall into the hands of the 10,000 scale race? They are using you to seize resources for them, so they are getting stronger and stronger. Wake up, fellow humans. We are counterattacking at this moment. Otherwise, do you think we are here to travel? Chirp. Rumble. Suddenly, after the cicadas chirped, a great Tao crack that was far more terrifying than the previous ones burst out. Blood color filled the sky. Many people even vaguely saw the legendary terrifying ice through the great Tao crack. Under the instigation of the 7-kill army, with the support of the scavengers, and under the deterrence of the great Tao cracks, the humans finally began to believe that the human race really had such a human emperor. The human race was really fighting back. Therefore, a large number of humans entered the origin seas of the strong masters of the 7-kill army. In just half an hour, almost 99% of the thousands of villages were empty. Only those who had gone out to hunt and hadn't returned were left. Of course, there were occasionally a few anomalies. Even if they saw the great Tao cracks, even if human powerhouses explained the situation, and even if the people from the city of wanderers arrived and revealed their identities, they were still unwilling to leave. There was even a small number of them who openly spread fallacies that the 10,000 scale race was invincible. For example, in the villages in the top 10 cities under the jurisdiction of the city of scavengers, these villages had attached to these big clans. Compared to the human villages in remote places, perhaps their living conditions and level of resources were higher. At this moment, there was a village called the Earth Dragon Village in the 9th city. The number of sea establishers in this village was not something a remote village could compare to. At this moment, more than 30 sea establishment realm powerhouses were surrounding Yangku and the others. One of them said, "It's a conspiracy. It's definitely a conspiracy. How can there be a human emperor in the chaotic wasteland? How can there be so many monarchs who can die? This is simply nonsense. Besides, no one has stood up in 10,000 years or even 100,000 years, let alone killed monarchs. Heh, what do you think monarchs are?" Yangku said, "It seems that your dignity has been destroyed by the 10,000 scale race, and you don't dare to pick up the dignity of the human race anymore. Forget it. Although you don't appreciate this chance and refuse to leave, Master Human Emperor still wants to save you. However, he doesn't mind your offense, but I can't tolerate people like you who grovel and betray The human race for personal gain. Boom. Yonku drew his knife and looked around. I ask again, are you leaving or not? Humph. Someone shook his head. You mere 5C establishers really think you're something? Do you know where this is? This is under the jurisdiction of the Dragon Flame City. Which village doesn't have dozens of C establishers? Even the village leader here said, Yonku, if you surrender now, when the higher-ups investigate it, I may be able to save your lives. Yonku sneered. I'm a member of the Human Emperor's 7-kill army. Do I need you to protect me? Since you want to fight, I'll let you experience the divine technique bestowed by Master Human Emperor. Kill. The sea establishers of the Earth Dragon Village also took action. With a flip of his hand, Yonku held a saber in his hand. As his aura soared, saber beams rained down from the sky. Blade Inferno. Yonku sneered. Not everyone could come to persuade the human race in the top 10 cities. This Blade Inferno drew all things into knives, and billions of knife lights shot out at the same time, forming a purgatory. Everything in the prison could be turned into knives. In the entire 7-kill army, only 3 people could master this divine quality technique, and he was one of them because he was one of the purest knife cultivators. In the Blade Inferno, Yonku walked on the knives and said in a low voice, I didn't want to attack my fellow humans, but you have been enslaved for too long and have completely abandoned the dignity of the human race. You can give up and continue to flatter the 10,000 scale race, but you shouldn't instigate others to think like you. Therefore, for the return of the human race, to restore the dignity of the human race, and to restore the hope in everyone's hearts, I can only send you to hell. Puff. 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 In the Blade Inferno, 7 people in a row couldn't even withstand the first round and were crushed as soon as the purgatory was formed. Seeing this scene, the guy who shouted that Yonku was full of lies and the village leader were dumbfounded. So strong. How can a sea establisher have such terrifying combat power? He said that this is a divine quality technique? Hiss, he's the only one attacking. 1 against 30? Stepping on a knife light, Yonku instantly appeared beside the person who had just said that he was lying and said indifferently, this is the heavenly void divine movement technique. Puff. A sea establisher was killed with a single slash without even having a chance to resist. The other 4 people who came with Yonku didn't take action. They just looked at everything and sighed. Old Yang is too impulsive. After all, they are fellow humans. I'm afraid it's not appropriate to kill them all. Should we stop him? The other person said, don't. Old Yang is a human, but you and I are not, so you and I can't sense his feelings. Since he is determined to attack, let him. But we can't let him bear the blame alone. If Master Human Emperor blames him, we'll take the blame together with him. Yonku went on a killing spree. No one here was his match. Faced with this one-sided massacre, the village leader simply shouted, stop. Yonku, stop. We are willing to go. The other guy who retorted Yonku was also scared out of his wits. If he had known that Yonku was so powerful, he wouldn't have dared to confront him so arrogantly. He said, I'm willing to leave too. However, Yonku shook his head. The village leader can, but you can't. Yonku didn't kill the village leader because the village leader had great influence in the village and was a representative of the entire village. If The village leader died, it might cause great dissatisfaction among the humans in the village. If they didn't leave with him, it would be counterproductive. The man was anxious and immediately shouted, "Why can't I? You are so powerful. Why didn't you show your strength at the beginning? If you had shown your strength earlier, I would have been willing to go with you." Yonku said indifferently, "I didn't want to attack my own kind, nor did I want to use my strength to subdue you. However, you can't tell right from wrong, so I think it was a mistake for Master Human Emperor to decide to save all human beings. Some people are not worth saving." Puff. When Yonku killed this person, everyone in the Earth Dragon village was shocked. It was true that Yonku killed a sea establisher from his village, but what Yonku showed was a different human race, a powerful and unyielding human race. "I'm leaving. Whether it's true or not, I don't want to live forever under the enslavement of the 10,000 scale race. Although I don't know if this decision is right or not, I at least know that some people are fighting hard. That's enough. Brothers, I'm going. If the 10,000 scale race is destroyed, it will be the blessing of our human race. Even if we fail and die, it's better than living under someone else's roof for the rest of our lives." As for the village leader, after realizing Yonku's strength and knowing Yonku's determination, he also tried to prevent himself from being killed by Yonku, so he said, "Everyone, as you can see, there is still hope for our human race. There are still people fighting. Let's go. Let's go and see the counterattack of the human race." It wasn't until everyone entered Yonku's origin sea that he let out a long sigh of relief. At this moment, someone asked, "Brother Yang, you've already started a fight. Why do they approve of you instead?" Yonku said indifferently, "It's not that they approve of me. Some of them left with me. The rest of them were worried that they would be punished if we failed, so they simply left with us. In the end, they haven't completely trusted us. Many people don't believe that we will win. But that's not important. What's important is that they left with me. I may not be able to convince them, but Master Human Emperor definitely can." The dozens of people from the City of Wanderers were also shocked. They had seen strong masters, but rarely had they seen such strong-willed and domineering human powerhouses. Yonku came to them. "Let's go. Time to meet up with others." The teleportation array was activated, and Yonku and the others crossed multiple directional teleportation arrays that had been drawn and came to the agreed meeting place. Each city had a rendezvous point. Each city had hundreds of small villages under its jurisdiction. When Yonku and the others arrived at the rendezvous point, nearly 1,000 people had successfully gathered here, which meant that nearly 200 villages had been rescued. Because saving people was about efficiency, the 7-kill army that was sent out back then gathered very quickly with the help of the city of scavengers. And the more remote, the laggard, and the lower ranked the cities were, the faster the 7-kill army gathered. This was because the people in these places hated the 10,000 scale race even more. Every time there was a tidal wave, their entire village might be destroyed. And they lived in danger every day and had to face the oppression of the 10,000 scale race. With their lives in such a state, when the human race launched a counterattack, even if this matter was fake, they would rather believe it was true, because many people didn't want to live such a life anymore. The assembled 7-kill army was waiting for the sky-opening realm powerhouses who came to pick them up. However, the 7-kill army didn't know if anyone would come to receive them. Their mission was to take away the humans in the village and gather them together. Under such circumstances, ordinary people would guess that someone must be coming to receive them. Otherwise, it wouldn't be realistic for them, mere sea establishers, to cross the huge chaotic wasteland. In addition to the ominous creatures they encountered midway, they might not even be able to figure out the right direction, let alone escape. Sure enough, they didn't wait long. In less than half an hour, a sky-opening realm powerhouse appeared at the rendezvous point. Han Fei's plan was divided into 2 steps. The first step was to cause astronomical phenomena and have the 7-kill army and the city of wanderers persuade the humans in the villages to leave with the 7-kill army. However, it was easy to save people, but these villages were too scattered. It was definitely unrealistic to save so many people at once. Therefore, the second safeguard arranged by Han Fei was to let sky openers pick them up. However, this premise was that the various cities would be in a war. Otherwise, with such a large number of humans gathering, it was easy to be discovered and targeted. Most importantly, they had to prevent monarch-level strong masters from interfering, so someone had to restrain the monarchs of the city of scavengers. The city of origin was always a variable. If they fought blindly, the city of origin would definitely reap the benefits. Therefore, destroying the city of origin was the best choice. Of course, there were still a group of sea establishers and sky openers in the city of scavengers. They might be hiding in a training field or somewhere like that. But now, these people must have moved. But this didn't affect Han Fei's plan. Even if these people moved, they were still a certain distance away from the battlefield of the cities under the jurisdiction of the city of scavengers, so they could be ignored for the time being. Furthermore, most of the sky-opening realm powerhouses in the 7-kill army weren't here to receive the humans from the cities, but to ambush these hidden powerhouses. At this point, the war between the human race and the 10,000 scale race had become a battle between the city of scavengers and the city of wanderers. Now, what Han Fei needed to do was to take everyone into his origin star. It was actually not difficult to achieve this. At this moment, some of the sky-opening realm powerhouses in the 7-kill army had already gone to the gathering places outside the major cities. Because they had practiced the heaven-deceiving technique, the probability of being discovered in advance was very low. Besides, these people actually moved with the city of wanderers, which was why Han Fei had to wait for 7 days. At this moment, outside each of the 132 cities under the jurisdiction of the city of scavengers, the sky-opening realm powerhouses of the 7-kill army appeared. These people had all entered the star transformation realm. After these people received the 7-kill army, they immediately put them into their origin stars. Then, the sky openers of the 7-kill army crossed the star sea quagmire and stepped into the sea of stars. In the sea of stars, there was a relatively dim star floating. Around this star, there were a total of 132 shining stars. At this moment, the 132 sky-opening realm powerhouses all came to the periphery of this dim star and transmitted their voices to it. Master Human Emperor, we've returned safely. Enter. Yes, this dim star was Han Fei's origin star. And the surrounding 132 stars were the origin stars of the sky-opening realm powerhouses of the 7-kill army, who refined their stars and brought them here. In this way, they could teleport over an ultra-long distance. Han Fei learned this trick from the infinite mining area, which was quite useful. Swish. 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 In Han Fei's origin star, strong masters arrived one after another. The countless humans in the raging sea looked at these unfamiliar sky-opening realm powerhouses in confusion. A strong master said in surprise, "Hey! Who are these people? They don't seem to be from our heaven realm." Someone shook his head. "Definitely not. I haven't seen any of these people. But their auras are very powerful." Someone said, "Isn't it obvious? There aren't so many emperors in our raging sea. They must be subordinates of Master Human Emperor, right?" Someone clicked his tongue. Master Human Emperor must be preparing something. Didn't Master Human Emperor say that he wanted us to witness the rise of the human race? He also said that the 10,000 scale race enslaved our human race in the outside world, and the human race might be going to war, so these strong masters came out. Someone nodded quickly. That makes sense. However, while these people were discussing in secret these sky-opening realm powerhouses all showed their world phantoms. At first, a group of sea establishers appeared out of thin air. Then these sea establishers also showed their origin sea phantoms. In the next moment, everyone was shocked. Hundreds of thousands of people were released from the origin sea of every sea establisher. The humans under the rule of the city of scavengers didn't know where they would be taken, but they knew that these people probably wouldn't harm them. First of all, they were all humans. In the chaotic wasteland, there was no reason for humans to harm humans. Besides, the deaths of monarchs had convinced many people of the existence of the human emperor, so they were not anxious but waiting. However, after only a moment, they were released. Buzz. In terms of strength, although these humans from the sea realm were all enslaved, they were still much stronger than the people in the raging sea. This couldn't be helped. If they weren't strong, they wouldn't have been able to survive until now. At this moment, when these people appeared in Han Fei's Life Star City, they were all stunned. What rich spiritual energy! I didn't know that there is a place with such rich spiritual energy in this world. Heavens, we are not in the sea. This is the legendary land, the land that only exists in primitive graveyards. Heavens, is this a tree? Is this the true appearance of the rotten dead trees in the chaotic wasteland? Hiss. Spiritual fruit, I see a spiritual orchard. There were even some elders among these people who were prostrating on the ground, kissing the mud under their feet. The smell of vitality seemed to be irresistible to them. However, before these people had the time to sense the fairyland-like environment around, they felt countless perceptions sweep over. They naturally swept their perception over too. Then they saw many, many people. They had never seen so many people in their lives. Hiss. How can there be so many humans? I can't even count them with my perception range. Look, their clothes are different from ours. These people don't look very strong. In fact, they seem a little weak. No, there are strong masters among them, but not many. Immediately, someone boldly asked, "Human compatriots, which village are you from?" However, a lot of voices immediately responded. "We're from the raging sea. We are from the 36 mystic world. We are from the heavenly realm. We are from the original Yin-Yang world. Are you from the sea realm? Did Master Human Emperor save you?" For a time, there was a hubbub of voices, chattering and asking all kinds of questions. The humans in the chaotic wasteland were all dumbfounded. Raging sea? 36 mystic worlds? Heavenly realm? Outside world? For a moment, these people looked at each other in bewilderment. Could these be human beings from origin grounds? At this moment, Han Fei's huge face appeared in the sky. For a moment, the people in the raging sea all shouted, "Master Human Emperor! Greetings, Master Human Emperor! Your Majesty, have we already won? Master Human Emperor, has the 10,000 scale race been destroyed? Master Human Emperor, do you need us to help? We're ready." Everyone in the raging sea knew Han Fei. His statues were erected everywhere in the raging sea, but no one under the rule of the 10,000 scale race had seen Han Fei's appearance. At this moment, it was the first time they had seen the true appearance of this so-called human emperor. This made them finally confirm that the people of the 7-kill army weren't lying to them. There was really a human emperor in this world. He was really saving them. Han Fei said, "My fellow human beings in the chaotic wasteland, welcome back to the human race. My name is Han Fei, and I am the current human emperor. This place is my origin star. The people you see now all come from the ancestral land of the human race, the raging sea. 100,000 years ago, your ancestors arrived in the sea realm and were enslaved by the 10,000 scale race, so you had to live a life of enslavement by the 10,000 scale race. However, today, I'm here. Our human race's counterattack has already begun." Ah! Master Human Emperor, thank you, Human Emperor. Some people burst into tears and fell to their knees, especially some old people who had lived in the raging sea for too long. Here, they could only live desperately without any dignity or sense of security. But now that the human race had an emperor, the sealed hope in their hearts was ignited again. Someone shouted, "Thank you for saving our lives, Master Human Emperor. Thank you, Master Human Emperor." However, Han Fei's voice resounded between the heavens and earth. "As the human emperor, I don't need your gratitude. The war isn't over yet. It's just the beginning. Now, be it the human race from the raging sea, or the human race in the chaotic wasteland, anyone above the explorer realm, soar into the sky. I'm going to lead you to counterattack the 10,000 scale race. I want you to know that whoever offends our human race will be executed, no matter how far away they are." In the end, Han Fei shouted, "I want the 10,000 scale race to be wiped out. All of you, follow me to slaughter everyone in the city of scavengers. Slaughter, slaughter, slaughter. Master Human Emperor, why are you only bringing explorers or above? Are the enemies here so strong?" "That's right. Master Human Emperor, is there a battlefield for law enforcers? We want to fight too." And Powerhouse above the venerable realm laughed and flew across the sky, shouting, "Everyone, I will help you kill the people of the 10,000 scale race." Someone grinned and said, "Great, the raging sea has been too peaceful for hundreds of years, and the sea demons have disappeared without a trace. I've been itching for a fight. Damn it, they bullied our human race. They deserve to be exterminated." Although the humans in the raging sea weren't very strong, they were quite tough in terms of combat. That was because they had been fighting sea demons all year round. The raging sea before was so dangerous that no one could guarantee that he would be safe when he went to sea. What they faced were real life and death battles. Unlike them, although the people in the chaotic wasteland had strong combat power, their enemies were mainly ominous creatures, and to deal with ominous creatures, they mainly used clean stones. Those who could hold up half of the sky were old people who had been through battles. Furthermore, in terms of life and death battles, even if they were stronger, they might still be forcefully killed by the people in the same realm from the raging sea. At this moment, the human powerhouses from the raging sea couldn't wait to fly into the sky, all of them full of fighting spirit. It wasn't that they really wanted to fight, but they needed resources. As Han Fei had said before, resources were everywhere in the sea realm. There were still many venerables among the people who had been rescued from the chaotic wastelands. They were so strong, although they had been enslaved. What if they weren't enslaved? Now, Han Fei was going to take action. Many of the people above the venerable realm from the raging sea had fought side by side with Han Fei and participated in the war against the sea demons. They had made a fortune. They knew that going to war with Han Fei would definitely bring them a lot of benefits. However, when this scene fell on the eyes of these people in the chaotic wasteland, their feelings were completely different. They had never seen such crazy humans. Billions of humans were shouting, roaring, and their voices shook the sky, even causing the ground to tremble. The transmission of emotions made the blood of these humans in the chaotic wasteland boil. Perhaps at first, they had doubts, fear, and anxiety, but the scene of tens of millions of people roaring was really unforgettable. What made them most excited was Han Fei. What kind of person could make so many human powerhouses admire him so much? But at this moment, they had no time to care about that. This person was here to help them. The hundreds of millions, billions, or tens of billions of fellow humans made them feel a sense of belonging that they had never felt before. Even if it was for this sense of belonging, they couldn't flinch. When the human powerhouses gathered, Han Fei had already returned to a place not far away from the raging sea, through the previous teleportation array. As soon as he came out, Han Fei burst out at his fastest speed. As for the 10,000 scale monarch's side, although they were restricted to the city of scavengers, all kinds of orders were issued. The big cities, ranking in the top 50, had basically all received the signal to retreat. As for those cities further away, he simply chose to give up. The 10,000 scale monarch knew that Han Fei wouldn't take part in this kind of trial personally for the time being. Han Fei's plan to take the human race away wasn't as simple as saving people. What he wanted was the human race's counterattack. This was a war between races and the prerequisite for him to become the true human emperor. Besides, Han Fei was very strong. Few people below the monarch level could resist him. Therefore, Han Fei wouldn't attack unless he had to. In that case, he would let the human race and the people in the city of scavengers fight first. Anyway, outside the first 50 cities, there were only a limited number of strong masters of the 10,000 scale race guarding the cities. Most of the people were from the Blade clan, the Frogman race, and other enslaved races. It wouldn't be a pity if they died. As long as there was no problem with the core of the city of scavengers, these giant cities could be rebuilt. The 132nd city, Heavenly Wave City. The guardian of the Heavenly Wave City was only a sky-opening realm 10,000 scale race powerhouse who hadn't even entered the star transformation realm. There were no more than 23 sea establishment realm powerhouses in the city, including less than 50 people from the Blade clan, the Frogman race, and other races. And in the city, half of the residents were from the human race. At this moment, Crabbling Fei, a sky-opening realm powerhouse from the city of Wanderers, was attacking the city with more than 60 sea establishment realm powerhouses and more than 3,000 venerables. Because this was the weakest city under the city of scavengers, although the combat power of the city of wanderers was not enough, the temporary siege could be completely maintained. Of course, the 3,000 venerables were just bystanders, because the heavenly Wave City had a population of nearly 2 million, including more than 300,000 venerables. If it weren't for the more than 60 sea establisher powerhouses from the city of wanderers, they would have been killed long ago. At this moment, Crablingface shouted, "Humans in the Heavenly Wave City, your Emperor is back. The day of your liberation has come. At this time, don't help these be asterisk stars of the 10,000 scale race anymore. Help us from the inside, and let's kill these be asterisk stars of the 10,000 scale race together." Someone roared, "Do you see the strange astronomical phenomena in the sky? That's our human emperor counterattacking and killing monarchs. The end of the 10,000 scale race is coming. Please abandon this city and go with us to kill the enemy with us. Be asterisk shit." The mayor of the Heavenly Wave City shouted angrily, "This fart stinks. This so-called astronomical phenomenon is just an illusion created by the city of wanderers. Dozens of great Dow cracks have already appeared. How can there be so many monarchs in the chaotic wasteland? Do you think anyone will believe? You, silly crab?" Crablingface said, "You don't even know that you're about to die. If the strong masters of the human race come, you won't even have a *king chance to run." Crablingface and the mayor of the Heavenly Wave City were fighting and cursing each other, not giving in to each other at all. The humans in the Heavenly Wave City were all puzzled. To be honest, they didn't believe Crablingface's words at all, but it didn't seem to be a bad thing for them that the people from the city of wanderers were besieging the city. If they had a chance to follow the people from the city of wanderers, they might be able to gain freedom. Unfortunately, now that the city protection array was activated, they couldn't go out. As for initiating internal strife, they really didn't dare to. The city of scavengers had absolute dominance in the territory of scavengers. If they really rebelled, what would happen to them if they couldn't escape, or if the people from the city of wanderers ran away? What awaited them would be the fury of the 10,000 scale race. Therefore, most humans in the city just fought passively and didn't respond to the people of the city of wanderers. It was almost 2 hours after the battle began. Suddenly, a figure broke out of the void. The mayor frowned. "Not good. Another sky-opening realm powerhouse has come. And I don't feel anything when he shows up. His strength is probably above mine." This person immediately wanted to escape, but when he wanted to escape, he found that this world was sealed by a sky-hanging shield armor, and he couldn't break through at all. Buzz. More than 10 million people suddenly appeared beside that person. Among them, more than 90% were explorers, and less than 5% were venerables. There were only more than 300,000. And there were actually more than 70,000 sea establishment realm powerhouses. This scene stunned the mayor of the Heavenly Wave City. How were they going to fight? Why were there so many sea establishers? He could understand that there were more than 300,000 venerables, but 70,000 sea establishers? Was that a dream? Also, why were there so many explorers? Where did they come from? Was his lame city worth paying so much attention to? In fact, although the mayor was shocked, he didn't know that these were all The strong masters from the various villages, both in the raging sea and the chaotic wasteland. Han Fei had once stayed in the little sea village. There were 300,000 people in that village, but there weren't many venerables, only about 300. However, the mountain city that ruled the little sea village had 3 million people, but the number of venerables reached 900,000. The gap between the two was truly huge. It was conceivable that many venerable-level powerhouses in the villages had been absorbed into the cities, and only a small number of them who were old or couldn't advance would be left in the village. This was why Han Fei only let the 7-kill army rescue people from villages at the beginning. This was because the cities under the city of scavengers were very strong, but the strength of the villages was too weak. They couldn't resist the cities at all. Even if all the villages joined force, they wouldn't even be able to resist a single city. It was precisely because of this that the human race had been enslaved and had no room to resist. Even though Han Fei had saved almost everyone in all the villages, there weren't many venerable-level powerhouses. Plus the venerables from the raging sea, they were only comparable to the heavenly wave city. However, now that the 70,000 7-kill army soldiers had all returned, their combat power was completely incomparable to these cities. Han Fei shouted, "My fellow human beings, this is the 132nd city under the rule of the city of scavengers, the heavenly wave city. Charge in and kill all the non-human powerhouses. Whatever you can grab from the city is yours. Anyway, we're not taking any prisoners. We're here for revenge. Kill. Kill. Charge. Bula. For the rise of the human race. For the human emperor. For the humans who were enslaved in the chaotic wasteland. Those who offend our human race will be executed, no matter how far away they are." The human army swarmed at the heavenly wave city like a tide, shouting all kinds of slogans. The human guards in the heavenly wave city were dumbfounded. Are these guys humans? So, the people in the city of wanderers aren't lying? Hiss. Our human race has an emperor? Heavens, those people seem to be sea establishment realm powerhouses. Does our human race have so many sea establishers? Has the human race really rebelled? And there are so many strong masters? Are we really going to be free? At this time, Han Fei's voice resounded in the heavenly wave city, "My compatriots in the heavenly wave city, I am human emperor Han Fei. I'm here to liberate the human race and destroy the 10,000 scale race. As you can see, we are counterattacking. The monarchs of the city of scavengers have been executed. Now, turn the weapons in your hands and kill through the heavenly wave city." After that, Han Fei added, "My fellow humans, you have half an hour. After conquering the heavenly wave city, we'll go to the next city." Then, Han Fei pointed his finger and shattered the barrier protecting the heavenly wave city. This kind of barrier was no longer meaningful to him.